Hello there! Welcome to the 91st episode of Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. My name is Simon Eady, and alongside me, I have my co-host, and a man who has an innate ability to relate to a vast variety of objects, people, and things, Adrian Pinter. How does it go, sir? How does it go?
General Kenobi, it goes quite well. How are you, Simon Eady?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
That's good.
Doing okay. Yes.
I mean, I guess it's okay, dude. But you know, that's showbiz, baby. That's showbiz, baby. Simon?
Yes?
You know who else says hello there?
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
He does. But also, Cameron Monaghan posted on Twitter, Simon Eady, that let me explain this. So Cameron Monaghan's lightsaber, oh my goodness, let me take a step back, okay? I'm going to take two steps back real quick. So Cameron Monaghan.
Maybe take three. Just take a few steps.
I'll take a few.
More than, maybe more than 3, 4, maybe 5.
I'll take 19 steps back.
Okay.
Anyways, so I took that many steps back.
Hello there. Welcome to the 91st episode of sorry.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because it's 19 steps?
Yeah. So many steps. Anyways, so Cameron Monaghan, you know him. I know him. He plays
the Joker.
He plays Cal Kestis. Yeah, I guess he plays the Joker in Gotham. Who cares? That just sucks. He literally. Okay, I'm gonna spoil some of Gotham, but who cares? Because that show's not good, and I don't like it. So in other words, if you don't want to have Gotham spoiled for you in like the mid-season, one of the how many seasons were there? 6, 5.
So in like season 3, skip ahead 2 minutes.
Okay, so continue. Cameron Monaghan, he plays the Joker, or a character that's supposed to be the Joker in Gotham, right? And this character has a bunch of character development throughout, the first, I think, couple seasons or 3 seasons, whatever. I didn't watch all of it, mind you. Anyway, so he's so much character development. You're like, wow, you're watching this guy slowly go crazy and become the Joker. How cool. But in reality, he's not the Joker because they kill off that character. All right, Simon, they kill off that character. And then Cameron Monaghan plays that character's twin brother that gets a little bit of crazy juice on his face and then becomes the Joker.
It's ridiculous.
So instead of using the character...
Did we get too far? Maybe we shouldn't have spoiled that. I feel like we shouldn't have spoiled that.
Who cares? No one should watch that show. Let me tell you right now, nobody should be watching that show right now.
It's one of the worst parts of about that show. And I feel like, though, they did advertise that pretty heavily, like Fox did in their commercials.
There's something...
this guy's gone, and then they kind of bring it back.
Yeah, I think that, they literally have like trailers about that.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I just realized something. I don't think I ever actually watched up to that point. I think it just got that spoiled for me.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the same boat.
Because of the trailers.
I definitely didn't watch up to that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they're like, this is the crazy juice.
I didn't go searching for that spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, they showed it. They released trailers. There's something about those like CW shows, and I guess in this case, this Fox, DC show, where they're just like, hey, tune in next episode because this is exactly what's going to happen. This shit's going to be crazy. There's so many crazy stuff that's going to happen. So when you watch it, there's absolutely no surprises.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the issue with those sort of shows. But anyway, I digress. So Cameron Monaghan, he plays Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order, which is a video game, Simon Eady. You know this. I know this. Ken, I'm sorry for talking about video games. And recently at Disney World, I believe, or Disney Parks, or whatever the difference is, I don't know. His lightsaber from the game is like, you can buy it there now.
Galaxy's Edge. At Galaxy's Edge. Which is that specialized part of the park.
Mm-hmm. So you can get it there, right?
Yeah.
But, that's a little interesting. But what really makes this interesting, Simon Eady, is that he retweeted the Disney Parks tweet. You know what I mean? But you know what he puts down? What he posted there, Simon?
In the tweet?
Oh, there goes my bell. Yeah, in that tweet. He said...
I do not. I do, but you should tell me.
Hello there, period, he says.
Oh.
Hello there, Simon. Why would this man post hello there? I understand that it's a Star Wars reference, but everyone's losing their goddamn collective minds over this Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer that released recently. Obi-Wan Kenobi That series is coming out. Cal Kestis is alive. That character, presumably, is alive during this time. And you mentioned this, like, could he come in to the live action universe? You know, he, like, the actor looks the same as the character. They just modeled the face after him and everything.
Oh, it's mocap, motion capture.
Yeah, exactly. And initially I was like, I don't know, because we don't really know what might happen to him. Maybe like in the games he might die. Blah 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 blah. We don't know because they're coming out with a sequel, so on and so forth. But now I'm almost like, ooh, maybe he is in it. You know what I mean?
Along with Mace Windu, or
Mace Windu, who fell out the window. Yeah,
it would be cool to have either of them in it. Also, because my biggest hint, I feel like, towards this, sure that tweet is something, but I feel like because of the BD droid in Book of Boba Fett, which is only introduced, like was first introduced and really most substantially in Jedi Fallen Order, the video game with Cameron Monaghan. So that's a huge thing. I feel like having the BD droid in Book of Boba, having not a crazy role, but it's definitely there. And what's her name mentions that it is a BD droid, just to erase any notion that it's just a new type of droid that we hadn't seen before. But if you had played the game, what's her name? Sorry, the mechanic.
Princess Caroline.
Right, yeah. The actress escapes her name escapes me, but she plays Princess Carolyn in the
BoJack Horseman
show, BoJack Horseman. Are you looking this up? I feel like I'm just doing all the legwork here.
Oh, I'm looking it up. As usual. Don't worry. I'm looking it up.
I don't think you were. Now I think you are. Her name is Amy Sedaris.
That's exactly what I was about to say, because I looked it up that entire time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm
sure you did. But what's her name in Book of Boba Fett?
Oh, I'm also looking that up. I've been in the process of looking that up this entire time.
I feel like you also haven't been doing that, but okay.
Looking it up.
Filmography, 2021. Or is it 2022?
Peli Motto.
Oh, Pele. I feel like I remember The Mandalorian saying that at some point.
I don't know.
In the series. But yeah, okay, cool. Anyways, yeah, so that's interesting. BD in it, interesting. And I'm very excited about this Kenobi show, but it's still far ways out, so we got some time to wait.
Yeah.
Before that comes out, though, Adrian, actually, I'm not even sure when it comes out, but Miss Marvel comes out.
Oh,
Miss Marvel comes out.
No, I thought you were going to say Moon Knight.
Oh, Moon Knight comes out on March 30th. Yeah, that's very exciting. The first episode, though, of course, is going to be drip fed to us. All 6 episodes of the Oscar Isaac starring Moon Knight series. That's cool. When's Miss Marvel coming out? Do you remember? Is it
June?
April? It's June, so it's actually after Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, whatever. Anyway, I was going to make a segue to Disney Plus from this Disney Plus show to another one, but regardless, let's reach into the mailbag for a moment here, shall we? We ask our listeners to write into us with comments, questions, and corrections by way of Twitter or by email to splitfocuspodcast@gmail.com. And longtime collaborator Kenneth Saddlebar wrote into us and he said, "Dudes, I agree with Adrian about losing Miss Marvel's stretchy powers. Thank you. For much of the contemporary audience, the only exposure to Marvel characters is what we've seen in the MCU, cartoons and video games. Most would know nothing about Marvel's first superhero team and would wonder why Reed Richards is copying Kamala Khan's powers. I'm hoping the bracelets do operate in a similar fashion to the rings of the Green Lantern Corps. Their powers are based on the user's will. Having an optimistic character like Miss Marvel using them would be cool. And because of her youth and inexperience, she wouldn't have Hal Jordan's godlike powers. If there was a connection between Miss Marvel's bracelets and the 10 rings, it would be interesting as well. When Captain Marvel used wristbands prior to Carol Danvers, they allowed Rick Jones to turn into Captain Marvel. Later, we found that the bands sent whichever one of them that wasn't on Earth to the negative zone, an antimatter universe. Introducing the negative zone to the MCU would allow for new characters and conflicts, including a major Fantastic Four villain, Annihilus.
Oh.
The tone of Miss Marvel appears light and looks like teens kids are the target audience. Good. Let them have heroes to identify with too. A email signed by Kenneth, and he has an added quote here, and it says, "Who am I? It seems like an easy question, and then I realized maybe what I said to these cops wasn't a joke. Maybe the name belongs to whoever has the courage to fight, and so I tell them who I am." A quote written by author G. Willow Wilson, who wrote the comic Miss Marvel Volume 1, No Normal.
Ooh.
Adrian, We talked about Ms. Marvel last week. We talked about the trailer, how I wasn't super impressed with it. I was kind of down on it.
Yeah, because you're racist. Yeah.
I know, not racism, had nothing to do with it. I explained that I really liked Ms. Marvel in the video game that nobody likes, really, that Square Enix video game. And the story that she brought to the table was the best part about that video game in general, because her character is really cool. And I like the stretchy powers because it represents her character very well in my eyes. With what he's said here, Kenneth said, the one thing I wanted to draw attention to, I think, is he's saying that no one would know who Reed Richards is. And I just don't believe that that's true. And I know you might think that the MCU is the mainstream idea. There's been like 3 movies for the Fantastic Four. Nobody knows is a little bit rough for the Fantastic Four. I mean, the Fantastic Four are pretty well known, more than Annihilus. Or actually Green Lantern, honestly, who's had one bad movie. So, I don't know.
I kind of see where Ken's coming from, though, because, like, think about it. The MCU started in 2008. Right. We did have the Fan-Fortastic or whatever that came out during that time, but it wasn't popular. It was like critically panned. Right. So even if, someone was born when the MCU started, they're like 14 now, dude, which is kind of wild to think about. So if they're really, they're not into the comic side of things, they're really just into the MC universe and only, play some of the Marvel games like Spider-Man or whatever, I can kind of see where that's coming from. Obviously, I know who Reed Richards is, and obviously you do, and Ken does.
The argument is so silly. If they were born in 2008?
Well, I'm just saying that as an example. Like the MCU is like 14 years old now, so like maybe someone was growing up around that time. Like we were. It's hard to really judge in that sort of like aspect because we were alive when those original like Fantastic Four movies came out in the early 2000s.
And so we're probably 50%, maybe 60, 70% of the audience.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the only thing I would disagree with is the most portion of Ken's statement. Like most would know nothing about Marvel's first superhero team. I don't think most of them would. I think some people might not. And I think some people would be like, hey, what the hell? This Reed Richards guy is copying Kamala Khan's powers. I wouldn't be surprised. There are people that kind of live under a rock. So I tend to agree with Ken on that aspect, honestly. I can see where he's coming from.
I know I'm arguing with the most. I know that not everybody knows about everything. That I think we agree on. I just don't think that I feel like most would know about the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Some
would not. But I think some would not know about, I don't know. What's a good example? I don't want to spoil anything. There's something that happened in the Hawkeye show that I really didn't like. And I talked about that on the Hawkeye A Closer Look episode, our spoiler cast. And most is not the right word, but I would say some would not have watched a different show that relates directly to Hawkeye. I'm not going to mention what that show is, but it's a required reading for that course, arguably.
It's Gotham.
It's Gotham. That's the only show we're allowed to spoil.
Yeah.
By the way, we can spoil Gotham on this podcast because we don't spoil things normally. I feel like we had a bad start. For any audience members coming into Split Focus, a film and TV podcast for the first time ever, they might be listening to this and thinking, "Wow, these guys are just starting this podcast off by spoiling Gotham. What dicks they are." You know what I'm saying, Adrian?
I was literally in the process of watching Fox's hit show Gotham.
They might be
2022.
Yeah, they might be.
Why?
But why? I don't know. But that's our responsibility, is to not spoil things. So I feel like we broke that rule for a brief moment, and I don't think we should ever do that again. All
right, we'll never do that again. Remember when Fish Mooney knocked off the building in season 1?
Fish? I don't even remember that now.
That's what's her name? Jada Pinkett Smith, who had the entanglement with August.
Is the entanglement with August related to Gotham? Like,
no, that's just that interview that she did with Will Smith. And she's like, and I had an when she's like essentially just admitting that she had an affair.
Right. Yeah. No, I remember that. But you're kind of mixing your whole story here. You're talking about Gotham, then you're talking about entanglements, and
how it's directly entangled into Hawkeye, and how it was Fish Mooney that appeared in that show.
Yeah, it's actually Fish Mooney now. Yeah. And we're just we're really mixing all the universes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, at the end, Cameron Monaghan dies again, and Fish Mooney becomes the Joker. It's fucking nuts. This show gets crazy. Honestly, everyone should watch it, actually. That doesn't actually happen. But imagine if it did.
Yeah.
It's not totally outlandish. You know what I mean?
No, actually, no, because nothing in that show was outlandish. I feel like they just did the unexpected because I think they had too many episodes to cover. Again, it started pretty well, and they had some pretty good performances. That was my favorite thing about that show. Mm-hmm. Some pretty good performances from their main cast. But they did some of the characters made some idiotic choices. Some of the plot lines just make no sense. Mm-hmm. And not great. Not great overall, but good feel of the city of Gotham. That's the benefit of it. Now we're advertising the show we already kind of spoiled. So look at us. We're so great.
We are great.
Anyways, Adrian, my point here was with Ken. I think that people should know what Fantastic Four is. I feel like that. I don't think that's. I think most people would know, and some would not. That was my basic argument. Other than that. Maybe it was too harsh last week about the, Kamala Khan's debut as Miss Marvel. I don't want it to seem like I was, I'm hating on it. I'm probably going to watch it anyway. Like I've watched all of the Disney shows. It's not like I wasn't going to plan on watching it. I'm always expecting more from Disney. I want them to exceed my expectations. And I wasn't super impressed with the trailer. I felt it was a bit cheap. It felt like some of the smoke effects, some of the CGI, some of the even just the production design in terms of the costumes, like the bracelet just seemed quite cheap. And that was my argument. Will it be good? We don't know. It's a trailer. Trailers can completely go one way or the other. The Suicide Squad is a great movie. Suicide Squad, the first in that series, was awful, but the trailer was absolutely incredible. Legitimately, maybe one of the best trailers I've ever seen, using Bohemian Rhapsody in such a great way. But then when I watched that movie, it's arguably still one of my least favorite movies ever. So my point is, trailers don't tell the story, but I just feel like they could give a bit more they have lots of time, but in a second trailer, I hope they kind of give out a little bit more as to where they're going to go with this. Because I feel like we have no idea what they're even going to do for villains. And I just really don't, I hope most of all that the villains will not fall flat. That would be the thing I would say. So.
Yeah, I hope so too, Simon. I hope so too.
And lastly, he says the tone of Miss Marvel appears light and looks like it's like teens and kids are the target audience. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you think about that, but I think that Marvel movies are for everybody.
Yeah, that I do too. I think what the MCU has, I want to say, consistently done well, more often than not. Let's say. Most of the time, Simon, I feel like the MCU movies are kind of like for everyone. I think, when you kind of look at it, I don't think they're for like super young audiences. Like when you kind of think about like Iron Man, like even that first Iron Man movie, like Robert Downey Jr. is being waterboarded, like, so if like a kid's watching that and is like, what the fuck's happening here? You know what I mean? So, so there are things like that.
Yeah. But, especially the 1-year-olds watching that movie in 2008. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And now they're waterboarding their own people.
What?
Those kids, they grew up to waterboard their own people.
The 14-year-olds are now waterboarding their own people, like their own family? What do you mean own people?
14-year-olds. Their own like their own people being other 14-year-olds.
Okay. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. But yeah. Yeah, it's the only thing they took out of that movie. They didn't take any of the heroism or anything like that. They just took the waterboarding aspect. They actually stopped it after that scene. They're like, oh, well, that's all I needed to see.
Yeah.
Father, come here.
Father, please.
Grab the towel and a bucket. Anyway, Adrian, I hope this is for everybody, is what I would say. And I agree that like it's nice to have, something for maybe younger kids to identify with. I can get that, like the heroes to identify with. That's cool, but I do think that it should be for everybody. And like, I feel like, and you especially like movies that are coming of age stories.
Coming of the age stories.
Mm-hmm. So I hope that it's for everybody. Adrian, what have you been watching this week? What have you been watching this week overall?
Honestly, Simon, I haven't watched much at all. Actually, like very little. And I wanted to watch Coda this week, but. I was gonna watch it with my girlfriend, but then we just ate like dinner, and then we were lying on the couch, and then all of a sudden we fell asleep, and then it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh shit, we didn't watch that movie. So unfortunately, I have not watched anything really except for. Are you ready for this, Simon?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3 episodes of
The Oscars.
no,
You've watched the Oscars because this is Monday after the Oscars, so technically you've watched it.
What?
You've also watched the Oscars.
Yeah, definitely watched the Oscars.
You said except for, so I'm just making sure you understand that you watched.
I've definitely watched the Oscars. We're definitely not recording this prior to the Oscars and then going to record it like a little add-on once after the Oscars air, right? That's not what we're doing.
No, we'll time travel if we have to.
It's after the Oscars right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is all after the Oscars.
Okay,
Even though there's no time possible to record this after the Oscars.
Okay.
It is. This is all after the Oscars. The Oscars are amazing. Anyways, what did you watch other than the Oscars?
You got to be careful with the Oscars were amazing part, just in case like someone gets like shot. You know what I mean? It's like, man,
the Oscars were frightening.
The Oscars were a mixed bag of emotions.
Yeah, 100%. A completely mixed bag. I'm not going to say which kinds of emotions that I experienced, but many.
I experienced some of them. Yeah. Not most.
Maybe even boredom. Boredom. Not even sure.
I only experienced some of the emotions.
The jury's still out about which emotions I experienced, but wait for the news story 1. When we get to news story 1, when I'll tell you.
I can't wait to express all the emotions that I experienced. Anyways, so the one thing I actually watched this week, Simon Edie, and it wasn't all of it. It was only the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I decided to watch this series. Are you ready? I'm going to tell you.
You didn't even say what it is yet.
2, 1. I watched the first 3 episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina, which is the Amazon original animated TV series based upon a Dungeons and Dragons podcast called Critical Role that has a bunch of famous actors, voice actors on there, including, probably the most notable, at least for me, is Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie in The Last of Us. She also has like some live action roles as well, I think in like the show Blind Spotting and stuff like that. Laura Bailey is also in it, who I absolutely adore. She plays Abby in The Last of Us Part 2, plus a bunch of other video games, Matt Mercer, so on and so forth. But long story short, the Legend of Vox Machina is just an animated, I guess, retelling of their Critical Role campaign that their first, I guess, story, their first series. I think they're on their 3rd campaign of Critical Role, but this is based upon the first one. And so far, it's freaking fantastic. I mean, again, like I said, the voice talent attached is top tier. It's incredibly great. And again, I believe all the characters are playing who they played when like who they played in the Critical Role campaign, or at least most of them are. And then obviously they added on a bunch of additional, voice actors and actresses, including like Stephanie Beatrice as an example, who I know are best from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Carrie Payton's also in it, who plays like King Ezekiel and The Walking Dead, so on and so forth. But I believe there's 12 episodes out for the show. I think it was being released in like 3 episode chunks. And again, I watched the first 3 episodes and I really freaking like it. It's really good. And honestly, the main reason I decided to watch the show, Simon, is because a bunch of my coworkers that I work with, as you do with coworkers, Simon, decided to do a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So we got together on, I think, last Sunday, I want to say. And we just did like a little character creating session, planning out like what we're going to do for Dungeons and Dragons. And the Dungeon Master recommended The Legend of Vox Machina, which, again, we've talked about it on the show, but he said how great it was. So, again, I watched those first 3 episodes. It's incredibly like compelling. The stories that it sets up are really neat. The characters, you're kind of thrust into this world about this like, group of mercenaries. Everyone has their own like quirks. They're all, there's like this big barbarian brute that is just like really dumb and just wants to like smash and kill things. There's like a twin brother and a sister. I think they're twins at least, that are like, elves that are kind of trying to, I don't know, like kill a dragon or some shit. And just like a bunch of little like, characters, and this hodgepodge group of mercenaries that get hired by this kingdom to take out a dragon, long story short. And that's really what the first 2 episodes are about. And then each episode, I guess, is like not necessarily its own contained story. It's directly following what happened before it, but it's very character focused and character driven. And again, they just keep on setting up new and interesting mysteries throughout these first 3 episodes that I'm very excited to see kind of revealed as the show progresses. And again, I really like this animation style. It looks really awesome. It's very like bloody and gory and R-rated, which I'm a big fan of. I think Amazon's really just doing a great job with these very adult animated shows with, Invincible, The Boys Diabolical, and now this. And yeah, I really like it. And I think, honestly, this might actually be something that you would really like, too, because I know you're kind of a fan of, like, tabletop role-playing. It is a little bit more, like generic Dungeons and Dragons, like elves, orcs, and all that sort of stuff. But I think the storytelling is really great. You're also a fan of a lot of these, like, actors that are playing these characters. So this is actually a show I recommend to you, Simon.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but it's really good. I'm excited to keep on watching it. The episodes are fairly short, they're 20 to 30 minutes long and all of that sort of stuff. And then also, actually, I totally forgot. I also watched another Amazon adult animated show called The Boys Diabolical. I didn't watch all of it. I watched the first, I think, 3 episodes. And this is an anthology series based, I think, in the universe of The Boys. I don't know if they're all canon or not, but they're like shorter episodes. They're like anywhere from like 8 to, I want to say, like 15 minutes. I think the first like few episodes, I think the first episode is like 10, 11 minutes. The second episode is like 12, 13 minutes. And what's really cool about this is that each episode is a different animation style, which is like super neat. The first one is like that old school, I want to say like Looney Tunes, like cartoon style. It's like a silent, like no one actually talks. It's just everyone's like expressions and like grunting and stuff like that. And this baby going on the loose. It's the one that they kind of showed with the trailer where that baby just like kills a bunch of people with its laser eyes. You remember that one from the trailer?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of the first episode. Then I think the second episode, if I recall, it's literally in the animation style of Rick and Morty. And like Justin Roiland was the writer for that one, along with someone else I can't recall. And he voices some of the characters, and it's pretty neat as well. Like it seems like it could maybe exist in the Boys universe, but I think it's a little bit more over the top than the Boys is, and I don't believe they're all canon. At least, yeah, I don't think so. But another like pretty neat watch too. But yeah, that's really all I watched this week. Simon.
Cool. Other than the Oscars, of course.
Other than the Oscars, which we've already watched.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. That's great. Yeah.
What did you watch?
I watched a few things. Like I've been catching up. I started Daredevil season 3 because it's obviously on Disney Plus now, which is exciting. And so I still commit to the concept that I feel like Disney. I feel like Daredevil season 3 and 1 are the best of the Daredevil seasons, I think. I'm on episode 4, I think, on that one. And I'm watching Severance still on Apple TV Plus, the show about people who sever their mind between work and life so that when they go into work, they don't remember anything about their life. And when they go back home, they don't remember anything about their work, which is just pretty awesome. I just love this show. I'm on episode 7 now. There's currently, I think, 8 episodes released already.
So it's not done yet, right?
There's 10 in total. It's not done yet. Okay. No. Okay. But man, is it a good show. A lot of the episodes are directed by Ben Stiller. It's a show written by Dan Erickson. It's just quite good. I can't believe how good it is. I feel like, I don't know. It's one of the better Apple TV Plus shows. I feel like Apple TV Plus has got a lot of good shows coming out lately. With After Party, we love Ted Lasso, and they're kind of hitting the marks. I think also with critics, which is great. Obviously, Coda came out. It's Oscar nominated. Very good. And it's kind of exciting in that aspect for that show. But it's just such a cool concept. The music's so good. The overall aesthetic, the production design, the costumes, really good. I love Severance. It's probably my favorite show that's come out in terms of like a new series that I'm watching currently at the moment. It's just so interesting. Every episode, I'm just so excited. The only thing I regret is that I can't binge it because, again, they're releasing it week to week. So I'm kind of like slowly watching it purposely because I know that if I hit the wall, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. But I'm also watching Servant as well, another Apple TV Plus show. Very good.
Oh, is it? Did season 3 come out?
It did. It came
Nice.
out. And did you watch Servant at all? I can't remember.
No, I added it to my list, but I didn't get around to it.
It's pretty good, and I do think you'd like it. I do, and it's. I think I'd mentioned this to you like many weeks back, but it's cool because it's about a couple, and they have like this. It's very unusual. There's this thing that they have a baby or whatever, and they hire a nanny. And I don't want to go too far, but they're living in like a Philadelphia, like almost like a century home. They live in like an old house, like it's really kind of rickety, and there's like something very. It's like a house that would creak. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
And it's a beautiful house. It's a beautiful house. He's a chef, and she works for the news, like a news agency, a news organization. She's like an anchor, a news anchor. She's an anchor woman. And the cool thing, I think I mentioned this to you before, but there's like a weird side plot of him just cooking things. He like, it's almost like very hipster, this show too, in that like there's always like really cool music on, and he's cooking something, and he's like so passionate about what he's making. It's almost like it's almost like Chef in a way. Like I haven't seen that movie, but I understand like from at least the trailers how incredible the meals that Jon Favreau's character makes in that movie, and that even people have been inspired to make food by watching that show or that movie. Sorry.
Yeah, I actually did. I made the Cubanos from that movie.
Yes, I think you mentioned that on this podcast too. But anyways, yeah. So not that it would inspire you necessarily to make what he makes in the show, but there's like some really cool dishes that he makes, and he shows how he's making it, and he's constantly cooking because he's a chef. And he works from home basically. So it's a kind of a neat concept there. But it's a very, very eerie show. It's directed largely in many episodes by M. Night Shyamalan, not written by him though, which is he's a very good director. I don't know about his writing. I'm not sure yet, honestly.
It's very hit or miss.
Yeah. But he set the tone for the direction because he started it. And I find this is like even with Mindhunter as an example, with David Fincher having directed the first few episodes for Mindhunter, everyone kind of followed suit knowing that they had to follow David Fincher, who's an incredible director. And I feel like they just had to like kind of follow the style. And that's kind of what I feel like with this show too. Although any M. Night Shyamalan directed episodes, you literally can tell. He is something very, very, I don't know what it is. It's just so in your face in terms of the way he shoots things, and he shoots people's faces and for long periods of time. And it's very good. It's very eerie. It's almost awkward for you to watch as the watcher, as like the person watching the show. And so I don't know, I really like that show anyway. So it's awesome. Moving on to the thing I watched that I want to talk about the most, which is King Richard.
The Oscars. Oh no, sorry.
Which that's next. That's right after I talk about King Richard. King Richard, which is an Oscar-nominated movie, which is not Oscar-nominated for Best Picture, and is directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, and stars Will Smith, who's nominated for Best Actor. It also stars Anjanou Ellis, who's nominated for Best Supporting Actress, both of which are amazing. And honestly, I can see them both winning, so I'm kind of curious how that goes. I think that Will Smith might win. I think his performance is truly awesome. I think Troy Kotzer will win. This is weird because the Oscars have already aired, so I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I think Will Smith did win. But maybe he didn't, because we didn't.
No, we've watched it. Will Smith did win, unless he didn't win. Which honestly, it's up to you guys to find it. Just stick with us. We're actually going to tell you the truth later. In moments from now. Anyways, King Richard is about basically Richard Williams, who is the father to Serena and Venus Williams, arguably the greatest tennis athletes of all time. And he has this like 78-page plan or whatever, and he, as like they're small kids when he's already wrote up, or I don't even know if they've been born yet, before he writes up this plan for them to become tennis stars, like the best that there ever was is his plan. I wonder if they ever turned out to be good tennis players.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
But the show takes place largely in the 90s and the 1990s, and he is a very interesting dude. He's an eccentric fellow, and they show that's family dynamic and how he kind of gets them to where they are in some way. And it shows the drive of not just him, obviously, but definitely Serena and Venus Williams, who are very young. And like the movie starts off with them to be 14, or at least Venus is 14 years old when it starts. and then they kind of age throughout. But like he's got them on this really kind of intense training regimen, but they kind of live in what like Richard calls the ghetto in Compton, California, and they kind of just get themselves out of that situation by like this serious drive that really the whole family, it's like a whole family effort have to get out of the situation. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting story. I don't know. I think it's definitely worth the watch. It got me emotional for sure. It wasn't as bad as Coda in terms of the range of emotions, but there's something about sports movies for me, movies like The Fighter, and like even, I don't know, I'm blanking on sports movies, but actually, honestly,
Air Bud.
Not Air Bud. Honestly, it actually reminded me a lot of a Queen's Gambit, actually.
Oh.
In a way. It's interesting because like if you're not interested in chess, it doesn't really matter. If you're not interested in tennis, in this case, it doesn't really matter. Like you'll still be. It's all about the inspirational story of how Richard Williams did this, and really how Serena Williams and Venus Williams got to where they were from such a young age, being so driven. And it's just, again, it's very inspiring. And I cried quite a few times, and again, I was happy quite a few times because it does everything so well, and the performance of Will Smith is truly remarkable. So
that's good.
I'm not surprised that he insert whether he won here. So yeah,
well, that's good, man. Yeah, this was like the one of the Oscar like Best Picture round. I was like, I'm just not too super interested in it, just because I don't really care about tennis and all that sort of stuff. But if you're, comparing it to the Queen's Gambit, which I absolutely adored, and you're telling me that this is like an inspirational movie, it's a good movie. I mean, obviously it's a good movie. It's nominated for Best Picture, but I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a watch. I definitely fell behind on my Best Picture nomination watching this past year. Just got really into watching a bunch of random shit. So
that's fair.
Kind of sold me on this.
Yeah, I think you would like it. I do think you'll like it. Like, honestly,
is it on Crave? You mentioned that
it's on Crave just now. It just went on Crave on Friday, so last Friday. So it's pretty good there. John Bernthal's in it as well. He's really good. The other thing I want to say too, this is obviously a biopic, so this is like, so a lot of the facts are all known. I feel like you can just look it up and you find them pretty quickly. But one of the things I'll say, which I really respect, and they did this, I don't know if they did it better necessarily, but I really like the Steve Jobs movie with Michael Fassbender because of something that his family didn't love. Steve Jobs' family didn't love about it, which is that I felt like they made Steve Jobs seem like a human being who's extremely flawed, because every human being is flawed. And that was one of the things I really loved about that movie. They showed him to be this kind of egotistical guy, but he also had this really soft side, and he was like a genius at the same time. And there was like this whole putting it all together into a cauldron and making it look like an actual human being and not just some hero. I love that about that movie so much. And Michael Fassbender's performance is really good, and it was great. But his family, Steve Jobs' family, critically, like, well, I guess if they're critics, I guess they just didn't love it. They were saying, "Don't go watch this. This is inaccurate." But I'm like, is this inaccurate? Because everyone kind of knows that. I feel like it's like well known that Steve Jobs is not the easiest guy to work with. So I don't know if it's not that harsh on him, like, honestly. So I feel like it's fair, but I feel like this is fair as well. And it's arguably a love letter to Richard Williams, but you can see the flaws in his character for sure. And they draw a light, like put a spotlight right on it in some aspect. Maybe the Steve Jobs movie was a little bit harsher in that I feel like they didn't consult the family as much as they did in this one, but they consulted the family, which is great. Like the Williams family was consulted to make the movie accurate. And I think that is a neat idea, and that they talked to quite a few people to get this thing to be not something that's just, kind of fiction. And they initially, I think the family was kind of hesitant. It was Isha Price, I think, was the individual who, so Price, he kind of remarried Williams. So there's a different last name there, but Isha Price was his adopted daughter in the movie. And the real life Isha Price is a lawyer, I believe now. And so she was heavily involved in trying to make sure that everything was accurate. Richard Williams was not actually involved in making this movie. He's like the only one, which is interesting. So I feel like that helps in terms of the fairness as well, and trying to maybe remove some of the bias in that regard. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to see if he had seen the movie, because I think that's one of the interesting things. But I think it was Isha Price who said specifically he would really like it. It's like a kind of a love letter to him in some way. But I feel like that I appreciate when movies like this, biopics, show the flaws of the character that they're focused on. Like, nobody is perfect. Let's not pretend that anybody is. Like, this isn't a movie about Jesus Christ. Like, come on. So it's cool that they show the bright side, and that's all great. But there's obviously some darkness in every situation. And I don't know. I don't know how much they missed out on. Maybe they missed out on a lot of the, maybe more darkness than they showed. But I feel like that they did a good job in showing both sides of the story in some aspect. Well, that's good. They didn't just leave out the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Yeah. That seems very interesting, man. And it's nice that the family was like so involved, except for, I guess, King Richard himself. Again,
it was the idea of controlling the narrative. And it was funny. That's that actual a line in Daredevil is Karen Page literally says to somebody in a hospital, she's there to write a story about this rich girl whose father's in the hospital because they got attacked. Mm-hmm. And she's like saying, she basically goes to the hospital and she's like, I want to write a piece about this situation. Can I get a statement from you? And this woman's like, no, I'm in the hospital waiting for my dad to get out of the hospital. Like, why would you think this is appropriate? And she's like, well, someone's going to write this story regardless, because you're literally, debutante or whatever. Like, they're going to write this no matter what happens, because you're going to hit the news regardless from our paper or somewhere else. Do you want to make your statement your way, or do you want to make it the way the press wants to make it up? And I feel like that's kind of a representation of this, is that if they weren't involved, maybe this story would have been just written for them and have a bunch of inaccuracies. Mm-hmm. And I think that might have happened with the Steve Jobs movie. Honestly, I don't know, but they did talk to witnesses who knew him fairly well for making that Steve Jobs movie with Michael Fassbender. That was a careful consideration with, that's an Aaron Sorkin movie, actually. That's written by Aaron Sorkin and directed by Danny Boyle. So it's a great combo of people who made that movie. And they did talk to, I'm pretty sure, not the family, but people who knew Steve Jobs to write that. But I feel like you didn't talk to the family because you just couldn't. And so the narrative was kind of written for them. And in this case, that was the argument, I think, made by Isha Price, in that, it's best that we take the narrative by the horns and kind of try to bring truth to it in our own way, as opposed to let somebody write the story 10 years later and not even ask us.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It's good. Don't know if it won Best Picture, but I do know because we just watched the Oscars.
But we're not going to reveal it until now.
Until right now. Let's begin with a small collection of more focused stories that have been particularly pertinent this week. Number 1. Adrian, news story number 1. The 94th Annual Academy Awards ceremony, hosted by actors Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, and Regina Hall, were presented live at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, California on Sunday, March 27th, 2022. Adrian, we both watched this ceremony. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff that happened, a lot of awards that were given out naturally. And I'm curious, Adrian, what did you think this year? You got to watch them this year, which you did not get to watch them last year, because you need a cable subscription in Canada to watch these awards. Yeah. But what did you think overall about the awards? Like, just if you were to sum it up in a couple words, few words.
I think this was a pretty entertaining watch, the Oscars themselves. I was lucky enough to be able to go over to my girlfriend's house. She has cable, so I got to watch the Oscars this year, which was nice. Last year, I just kept on refreshing a page to find out who the winners were at the time.
That's annoying. Because you did intend to watch them, and you tried to watch them, but you just couldn't find a feed.
Yeah, exactly. Because the year before that, I found like an illegal one online, like through Reddit or whatever. So
it's harder to find than it seems.
Yeah,
it's funny. I've struggled with that for years, and I have cable like adjacent because my family has it, so I just use the Rogers package basically.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous that you can't just pay like $20 to watch the Oscars online. It's fucking stupid.
Just the one event.
Yeah,
I'll just pay per view.
I will literally pay $20 for this. Like, fuck.
It's crazy because like if you can buy a fight, like you can buy like a UFC fight for like $20
Yeah.
or whatever. It depends on the fight. Sometimes they're like $100, I think.
Yeah,
but
man.
I don't know why you can't do that with the Super Bowl or the Oscars. It seems strange.
Yeah, what's ridiculous about this is that there was a fight at the Oscars too, and I couldn't pay for it. I couldn't pay for the UFC fight between.
How ridiculous was that, man?
Oh, dude, it was like, yeah, okay. So for context purposes, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock very hard in the face on stage just prior to Chris Rock, announcing the nominations for best, best documentary, if I recall correctly. After Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, calling her G.I. Jane. And he like makes this joke in passing. Will Smith walks on stage, slaps him incredibly hard on the face. And initially I was like, oh, is this like a bit?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. We thought the same thing. Dawn and I thought the same thing. Dawn's my girlfriend. I didn't give any context there for people who don't know me. But yeah, Dawn and I sitting there, we're like, wait, that's a bit. And then they're like swearing. And that it's not a bit, I guess, when they block out the sound, because they're obviously blocking out the swears. And they're like just swearing at each other on stage. Although I feel like Chris Rock kind of didn't really swear very much. He was just kind of still joking.
Yeah, he said, like Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. So they cut it out. I'm actually taking this from, I think, a Vanity Fair article. And yeah, like Will Smith walks away, sits down and says, like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. And
twice.
Yeah.
He yells it twice. I watched the clip. There's a clip. You can find the clip online of it not bleeped out.
Oh, okay. And honestly, I was literally just sitting there being like, what the fuck? Like, how can I word this in a way that isn't like totally dickish?
So let's give some context first, if we may.
Okay.
The reason why he was offended is because Jada Pinkett Smith has been undergoing she has a condition basically called alopecia.
Yeah.
I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I do know of this, where you lose hair, and she's suffering hair loss. And so the joke was directed specifically at that. So it was definitely a joke in bad taste. Let's just say that.
I guess, but Chris Rock is literally a comedian. I know it's like punching down, blah, 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 blah. Who the fuck cares?
No, it is.
I don't know.
It's generally, it is genuinely. She has a condition, so that's a poor joke. That's kind of like a joke in bad taste. I would say that unquestionably, it's a joke in bad taste.
Yeah.
Does that warrant assault?
No.
Heck no.
Dude.
No, it's assault. He literally assaulted him.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what happened. When you have a joke in bad taste like that, like for instance, if you watch the Golden Globes with Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah, God, so good.
Which, like, he just attacks everyone. And just to be clear, Jada Pinkett Smith is a millionaire. She doesn't have cancer, and that's why she's losing her hair.
It's not like a death illness. It's just you're losing some. I know. I'm not like downplaying alopecia because I know like it's not ideal. Obviously,
it still sucks.
Yeah,
I get
but it's just like, come the fuck on, grow up and be more mature. And honestly, so Will Smith wins Best Actor and then goes up on stage and then does a speech about love and peace and all that stuff. And honestly, I was like, this speech, like to be honest, is just kind of it's
ironic.
Yeah. It's so ironic. I literally was sitting there with my girlfriend, like, man, the irony in this, and it's really just kind of lost its luster. I feel like that would have been a very powerful speech if he didn't just whack the shit out of fucking Chris Rock like 10 minutes earlier. I don't know. It's
weird because like Anthony Hopkins like said it was a good speech after, and I was like, I don't know, that's true. Yeah. Did you miss the other part, Anthony? Were you in the back? Were you backstage?
Yeah, and
I don't know.
I like how like Amy Schumer like walks out on stage. I'm not a huge Amy Schumer fan, but honestly, she's just like, sorry, I was getting out of like my Spider-Man costume. Like, did anything happen while I was gone? Like, something seems off here. I'm like, that's a quality way to kind of, loosen everyone up a bit after such a ridiculous situation. I don't
Probably improvised too, because obviously that wasn't expected.
Yeah, definitely.
So actually, to go quickly, and we're going to get back to this probably, but the hosts were pretty great. I actually liked their performances. And to be honest, Amy Schumer was pretty great, like throughout. Her hanging there as Spider-Man was pretty ridiculous. There's a lot of moments where she like shined fairly well. They all had their moments to shine at, honestly. They did a great job.
Yeah, but like Regina Hall is just absolutely hilarious. Like I haven't seen her in much, but honestly, I I have like a lot of nostalgia whenever I see her, just because she reminds me of the scary movies. I don't know if you ever watched Scary Movie like 1 and 2. Like I watched the shit out of those.
But so long ago.
Yeah,
so long ago I saw them.
And honestly, she's just absolutely hilarious in those. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I really appreciated having her up there too. And yeah, again, I agree with you. It's nice having hosts again at the Oscars because I feel like it was severely lacking over the past like 3-4 years.
A constant, a baseline, something to get back to. It's important for sure. And that's like, I don't know how it was 3 years before they decided to go back to it. Yeah. It's shocking. But yeah, they did a great job. And and the improvisation was good there too. But I just want to point out just briefly here, like, so just go back briefly to the Will Smith thing. So he said the speech and then it looked like he was about to apologize and then he chickened out. Am I wrong? He said, I apologize to the Academy, but then he didn't actually apologize.
Yeah, it's like, what are you apologizing for? You mean like whacking Chris
for crying?
Assault? Yeah, it's like, it's confusing because that's what he kind of continued to talk about after. He's just like, I'm not crying because I won this award. I'm crying because of blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, wait, what are you apologizing for though? It was very confusing. Yeah. And I don't know, man. It really just kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, like watching. I'm like, are you really like this thin skinned, this thin haired?
Right. If you're that thin skinned, why? Oh, that was damn.
I don't know. Yeah, it's in poor taste.
But the thin skinned aspect though, for real, like you have a podcast in which you air all of your dirty laundry. Are you serious? That's my question.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. And Will Smith's always came off to me as like a chill dude. I just don't get it. I just guess I saw. Obviously, there's always a facade. They're actors, in Hollywood. So I guess boo me for being so naive.
Yeah,
but man, I lost a lot of respect for Will Smith. Gotta say.
Oh, me, dude, definitely.
There's also the question of like, shouldn't he have been removed? And I think, honestly.
Oh, 100%, man. You literally assaulted someone. He should be charged for assault. Just because you're fucking rich and you're at an award show and someone made a joke about your wife it doesn't mean that you can punch someone in the slap someone in the face very aggressively. I don't know. And I don't know. Like I know this is kind of the outside looking in. I don't know these people. I'm not on a personal level or anything like that. But I don't know. Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't seem like a nice person, realistically. In any interview I see her in, she seems very just full of herself. And literally, like on their podcast, she admits to fucking her son's friend. You know what I mean? And cheating on Will Smith. I don't know. I have no sympathy for someone like that, and I couldn't really care less about her feelings getting hurt.
You know, it's weird. We talk about the entanglement somewhere else in this podcast, but I can't remember if it was before this segment of our show or after.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Anyway, this is, if you couldn't tell, this part of the podcast is spliced in because we always record on Saturdays. Yeah. The Oscars happen on Sundays. So if it seems a little weird, that's why. Just so you're aware, audience.
By the way, we make a bunch of references to watching the Oscars already, even though we didn't watch the Oscars. I'm spoiling it here, but the running joke is going to happen throughout this episode.
You're just killing it.
I'm just killing it right now, dude.
Killing the joke, I mean. Man, but here, seriously though, it's weird too, like just to wrap that Will Smith part up. Like Will Smith made a speech about caring about family, which King Richard is very much about. And it's like, it sounds like he's just talking about himself. You know what I mean? He's like selfish. Like, this is me. I care about my family. That's why I stood up and hit him in the mouth. But he never wanted to say that explicitly. Yeah. And it looked like then he was going to apologize and didn't do it. But to be quite honest, the win for Best Actor was not much of a surprise to me.
Oh, fair enough.
I just talked about King Richard and how good he was in that. And watching that clip again of him talking to Venus in King Richard just before he won, I was like, oh yeah, man. I cried literally in the scene that they show in the Oscars. So his performance is immaculate. It is very good. So say what you want about the man who made a very terrible decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I'm not going to deny that.
He did a great job in that performance. It just sours it though. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why? where's your like? It's just a poor character decision. Like, I'm not saying he's a poor character. I'm just saying it's just not a good decision in that moment. It just, again, there's respect for him definitely went down for me, like by a large margin. I just can't believe that.
It's a little bit ridiculous.
Like, violence is simply not the answer. Ugh. Has he never gone to the Golden Globes with Ricky Gervais there?
I guess not. I don't know, but it's just
maybe he has history with Chris Rock.
It's possible. I know. So in that Vanity Fair article that I read in, like, I think 2016, Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith during one of his like presentation portions, where he said like he made fun of her for boycotting the Oscars that year, even though and then he's just like, but it's just like me. Like, here, let me pull it up real quick. Because I don't want to butcher the shit out of this.
Sorry, who's saying this?
Chris Rock made this joke back in 2016.
Okay.
Let me pull it up. Where is it? Okay, yeah. So during the 2016 ceremony, which Rock hosted, he poked fun at Pinkett Smith for famously boycotting that year's ceremony. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. I guess he said that before. But even then, it's just, I don't know. Like, maybe they have history that's not really been pointed out.
I meant more like personal history is what I meant.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
Because it's also, and then I want to put another positive spin on this entire ceremony, or a positive spin, because we've talked mostly negative, honestly. But honestly, the ceremony was awesome. I honestly think this is one of the better Oscars I've seen maybe in a long time. And maybe that's just because of the lack of hosts lately. But just the overall composition, the direction it went in, and the speed, the brisk pacing of it was quite good. I do not like the fact that they took out some of those awards, like best editing, best sound, best music. That to me made no sense still on a perspective of it just felt a bit disrespectful because it felt like they were rushing those awards out where the other ones were given a lot of time. And I don't think that worked out, although it worked out in terms of pacing in that this was the easiest watch of an Oscars that I've probably ever had.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly. I don't remember. Again, maybe before when they had hosts, maybe it was a little bit better paced as well, but I really appreciated that quite a bit. I was entertained throughout. And it wasn't because somebody punched somebody in the face. I would rather have not seen the drama. I'm good without seeing that. Yeah. That's just idiotic. It's just, again, it kind of puts a damper on the professionalism of the event.
Oh, definitely.
But and there's lots of crazy good moments in terms of the aspect of the celebration of movies. I don't think I've seen it done this well in a while. And I think back, probably my favorite ceremony otherwise was maybe, and it's come off as a little weird, but I really liked the Hugh Jackman hosted one, and that the musical number in the beginning of that was amazing. And it just felt like it was a good overall event. I always appreciate when they bring in the musical numbers that are the best song throughout the event and pepper that in. I always appreciate when they celebrate the best picture nominees and show the clips of them throughout. And I don't think they did that last year. And it was a notable problem for me in that it just felt like it was just, let's get through the awards. I don't know. It just, the passion for whoever produced this, I feel like was there, and they really wanted to put on a really good show and a celebration of movies. And then lastly, The Godfather, Pulp Fiction, and White Men Can't Jump, like the anniversaries of those three movies, and bringing on the cast for those movies to celebrate them. And the Pulp Fiction one, honestly, being the notable, probably the best one, and that they also announced an award in that moment too, with Samuel Jackson pulling out the card out of the briefcase. It's just brilliant. Even just John Travolta and Uma Thurman dancing there was just so cool. There was, again, the smoothness of the presentation and the aspects of the celebration of film. So good. Sorry, I've been talking for a while.
No.
I don't know if you agree or disagree.
I definitely agree, man. I found a lot of enjoyment out of this, and I agree that this was definitely a tighter show, and it was an easier watch where, some years will go on for like 4.5, 5 hours where it's just like, get to the fucking point. A lot of the time. And I don't know. I'm kind of two minds of that though, because I felt bad. I forget who won one of the awards. It was like a group of a few people, and like the one guy made the speech, and then as the second guy was going on, like they started playing them off with the music, and it always makes me feel kind of sad. It's just like, man, these people in a lot of cases, this is a once in a lifetime experience, and they can't say their piece or whatever. But it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. So I'm not super sour about that. But
I wonder if that happened less this time because they had more time. Because I only remember that happening once, and usually they play people off a lot more. And because of the fact that they were able to rush it out, because they truncated it down, because they cut out some of the awards, I just think that the disrespectful aspect, they need to find a different balance. I don't know what that is. I saw that as well. The guy tries to go in and say something, and then he hesitated and then said whatever he said thank you at the end anyway. I was like, oh, good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, it actually happened like twice, but what's his name? The director, Ryusuke Hamaguchi, who directed Drive My Car, which won Best International Film. I don't think either of us are surprised about that by any means.
What? How could that have won that? Even though it was nominated for Best Picture as well.
What are the chances?
The attendant at the Waterloo Princess Twin Cinema said, he's like, I bet you it's going to win international. It's got a good chance. I think he said it's got a good chance of winning international best film this year. It's like, yeah, man.
It's got literally the best chance, man, is what I said to him.
It's the only one nominated for Best Picture.
And he broke his legs as we were leaving the theater.
No, I didn't. But the guy's a good guy. He was a friendly man. Kudos to that guy. I don't know his name. Kudos to the guy at the Waterloo Princess Twin Cinemas.
Kudos to that guy. Even though he's like, this movie was too long. No, it wasn't. It was deliberately this long, okay? You just don't understand film, is what I exclaimed. But anyways, he
was, of course, referencing Drive My Car when he said that.
And I digress anyways. Ryusuke Hamaguchi, when he was on and saying his thing, and then he starts getting played off or whatever, and he's like, no, wait, like one more thing.
Yeah.
And literally they just like stop it for him. I was like, right on, man. Good for you. Stand up for yourself. Do this.
Well, they thought he was stopping, and I would have too. Let's be honest. But like the guy probably knows 5 languages though, so I feel like it's. I think it was like he was trying to get the words because English is not his first language, so that made sense.
It's possibly not even his second language.
Possibly not. I think he was trying to say something else at the end as well, but then he also got played off a second time.
Yeah,
just because he paused for very long periods, which I think threw off the people in control of the music and the transitions.
Speaking of pausing a bunch during their, like, I guess, speech or build up to an award, Kevin Costner's portion when he was, explaining about being like a young child and watching whatever movie. I actually really liked that speech, but literally
me too.
It was like powerful. It was nice. But again, he would like say like 4 words and then pause for like 2 seconds and then continue. And then pause for 2 seconds. And I was like, oh, man, this is really great. But then he announced Best Director, and Jane Campion won. And she goes up, and she's like, that was dramatic. I was like, why do you got to be such a bitch about this? I was like, that's not nice. I felt really bad for Kevin Costner, honestly. Like, you could see him just being like, oh, like, that's kind of mean.
I think he wrote that, and honestly, it felt very passionate. I love that. That was one of my favorite moments, and it's again the pacing aspect too, and that it just goes through these ebbs and flows so well, and that was a nice slow speech, and very well scripted and well written, and like, man, you can tell that guy loves movies and he loves making them, and it's like I love that was one of my favorite moments of the ceremony as well.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
But yeah,
imagine if he just slapped Jane Campion in the face after that. You know what I mean? That would have been a whole ordeal.
Yeah, he would have been arrested. That's for sure. That would have been outrageous.
Honestly, on a quick topic of just double standards, like in this sort of thing, is because
that was a segue.
No, realistically though, like there is that double standard. Like again, if Kevin Costner slapped Jane Campion in the face, it would be like a totally different story. Because it's obviously you shouldn't hit anyone, but like don't hit a woman. But at the beginning of this show, what kind of like threw me off a bit is literally they did this whole bit about calling all the single men onto the stage, and they're like, oh, like we're gonna like take them to the back and like bang them, essentially is what they're doing. And then I forget who the 2 actors were that like came out on the stage, but then Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes are just like kind of like, or I think it was just Regina Hall is just like feeling them up on stage and everything like that.
Oh yeah, Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is a funny bit, and then like my girlfriend was like, this is kind of like the prime example of like the double standard. Just like imagine if the roles were reversed. And I was like, that's a really good fucking point, because a dude can't do this. And I understand there's a lot of history and all of that sort of stuff. But again, if we do want to take that sort of stuff seriously, I feel like we need to stop with this sort of double standard personally, not to get too into that. But I did kind of want to bring that up personally myself. I did.
Alrighty.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I don't know if I don't know. Again, the history part that you mentioned there is kind of why the opposite could not have happened. But yeah, I can see why you would feel a little icky about it.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. But the other thing about the ceremony before we start getting into the awards, in memoriam was one of the better in memoriams that I've seen in terms of, again, execution. It's all about the execution, except for the fact that it left out Bob Saget and it left out Norm Macdonald, which is like, how did you leave those two out?
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think
how do
about
they
that.
make this mistake every year? I don't get it. They leave someone out, I feel like, every year, and they're huge names. Like, if I can name them, you have a problem. And it was instantly I feel like recognized by the public, because there's lots of posts about this very thing. But I just don't get it. Bob Saget and Norm Macdonald are huge names. So like, how did you do that? I don't even get it. But other than that, though, I thought like having Bill Murray on stage and Tyler Perry and Jamie Lee Curtis with a puppy, which was great because of Betty White's love for puppies. But I thought that was very well done. I thought that it's a little weird in memoriams how they spend a bit more time on certain people and not on others. That's always been weird to me. But there's something about the celebration of it in this, especially having the puppy on stage. I just thought like the celebration of their lives as opposed to just mourning them being gone was something that I really felt was emphasized here. And even the music and the selection of music and kind of pushing it into the presentation from like Bill Murray and Jamie Lee Curtis was kind of brilliant. I don't know. It's one of the better versions of this, except for the fact that they omitted some big names, and I just don't know why that happens. Like, hire me. I can compose a list for you each year, and you won't miss that.
I can literally list every single person that died. Hire me.
Yeah. It's kind of morbid, but yeah, sure. Anyways, if you were collecting the names each year, like hire maybe just a person to do that. I don't know, an intern of some sort, somebody who cares about this. Just don't have that happen. But anyway, I don't know. Did you feel like it was a well executed in memoriam? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think most years I think it's fairly well executed. But this one, I feel like it kind of set itself apart with those three individuals coming on stage and like adding those little speeches about those three people as well. But yeah, I guess I kind of do agree with you. It's like, why is this person more important than the last? It's a complex situation, Simon, is what I'm going to say.
It is. Yeah. But the celebration aspect, I feel like made it more okay for me. It's just omitting names completely. That is like, I don't know why.
It's disrespectful, I think.
And how did no one come up with this? No one looked at that and said, oh yeah, we missed so-and-so. Like, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, it's odd.
We missed two arguably hugely influential comedians. You know what I mean? It's odd.
I just don't get it. I'm sure those two will be at the Emmys, but that would be their excuse, I'm sure, tomorrow. But I just feel like the Academy's excuse. But I just think just doesn't feel great to me. But to get to some of the awards, if we may, Adrian, Coda won. Yeah. I'm just going to say it right now. And I was so happy. I can't stress enough. The best speech of the night, although I feel like it could have been Will Smith if he didn't punch a guy in the face, because I feel like he had stuff that was good to say, and he just couldn't.
He slapped a guy in the face.
Whatever. He just, I think he had good stuff to say, but he got derailed, and he kind of felt like he was all over the place because he was talking about the moment that just happened, but without saying it explicitly. That's kind of what I felt like. I don't know if you got that, but anyways, his speech was otherwise would have been probably great. But you know who my favorite speech was? Can you guess?
Was it the guys from Coda?
Troy Kotzer. Best supporting actor. Yeah. This is so brilliant. And in general, like Coda winning, I don't know. It's just seeing all of the standing ovation and seeing everyone kind of like doing the clapping, like the waving their hands kind of thing. For if you can't hear it, it's like a sign of respect kind of idea. I just really appreciated that. Just, I don't know, there was something about it's ingrained in my memory about J.K. Simmons just doing it, and everyone's just smiling, and it's just kind of in a way an upset. I feel like, I think people thought maybe Power of the Dog was going to take it, and seeing Coda win, to me, I don't know, because I just love that movie so much. I've watched every movie except for Belfast at this point, and I genuinely think it's my favorite one. It's just felt like the most heartfelt, and like Sean Hedder's movie, she just did such a great job directing it, and man, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm still very excited to watch Coda. Like that is on my docket. I should have watched it this past week, but again,
you fell asleep.
Sleep comes first, man. Sleep comes first.
Yeah.
But what one? I guess like to continue on like some of the wins that I was kind of surprised, but at the same time kind of happy about, was Jessica Chastain winning for The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Crazy, eh? It's the only movie we watched out of the entire lot, and I was like, she did a great job.
She did.
And then she won. I'm like, I can't speak to anyone else. I'm like, wow, Kristen Stewart did a great job in that scene. And I was like, wow, okay. And then Jessica Chastain wins, and I was like, oh, well, she was amazing.
Yeah, she was.
But I don't have the context to judge, because I have no idea how the other women in the category did. So
it's interesting though, because I feel like that is, I think, the lowest rated movie of the 5, if I recall correctly, like on Rotten Tomatoes. And I know you weren't super hot on like The Eyes of Tammy Faye, but I quite enjoyed that movie, and I think I even said it during our like little review back in the day about The Eyes of Tammy Faye, how like Jessica Chastain just became unrecognizable throughout that film, and like she was Tammy Faye, and I was happy to see that. I was just kind of like, oh damn. Really awesome. And again, I really love that movie. I really liked it. And I think her job in that, like what she did in that movie, along with Andrew Garfield, of course, was just top tier stellar.
Yeah, her speech was good too. And they won best makeup, right? If I recall. Yeah. I'm not wrong, right? I didn't miss. No, it was her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was her team, or the team surrounding her, that made that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because the makeup helped her too. That's also helped her be a little bit more unrecognizable, kind of like Colin Farrell in The Batman. And that the prosthetics helped a bit too. But her performance, just right through the prosthetics, was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And Dune won a tremendous number of technical awards.
Yeah, I think it won the most. Did it? Like, it won the most Oscars this year. I think I'm correct about that. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure you are right. Hans Zimmer won for best music. Well deserved, that's for sure. Although, like, tough competition, like the other categories, like the other individuals in the category were amazing as well. Yeah. And then it won specifically cinematography by Greg Fraser, and that the cinematography is divine, just like it is in The Batman. And if you won for Dune, honestly, I feel like he should be a front runner for The Batman, because both of those movies have incredible cinematography, both by Greg Fraser. VFX was Dune as well, which was like not really that surprising to me, but I kind of thought maybe Spider-Man No Way Home would win it, just because it is like a lot of CG. And the teams on that did a great job. Sound was Dune, not a surprise. Film editing, I thought could honestly be Don't Look Up, because that movie's largely editing is what makes that movie so brilliant. And the way that it cuts to like in shots of deer running through a river, and like beetles walking along the beach and stuff, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
It just feels like it's a immaculate editing. That's the way that movie's paced, is based on the editing. And then production design went to Dune as well.
Yeah.
So
it's all good stuff there.
Yeah, I think it's the most for sure.
Yeah, costume design going to Cruella was interesting. It was funny because Jenny Beavan, when she was like shown on camera, I was like, oh, man, that's a weird outfit. It looks like she's right out of the movie. And then my girlfriend was literally just like, I think that's the intention. I'm pretty sure. I was like, oh yeah, like, that makes sense. She goes up on stage like, so I brought my own Cruella into real life. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just a fucking idiot. So
she's won 3 Oscars.
Oh damn.
If I feel like if there was a picture in the dictionary of like costume designer, like world renowned, I feel like it's her. You know what I mean? Like, she just looks like it, and she talks the part, and she just owns it. I feel like, even in her speech, and she got played off, actually, to be honest. Yeah, more people got played off than I'm giving credit, but I think that she's awesome.
Yeah, she sounds so British. Like, she's the definition of just like a British person,
of British artist.
Yeah. Just like how they talk,
like
the mannerisms,
top of their class.
Yeah, and just like, oh my god,
artist.
I was like, this woman is so British. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Also, I mentioned Anthony Hopkins was there. Anthony Hopkins being there was awesome, just because he's a legend, and he wasn't there last year, so I'm happy for that. For sure.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, even like seeing like Eliza Minnelli and Lady Gaga, presenting Best Picture, that was like a really cute moment.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Yeah, it was really adorable. Like when Lady Gaga leans and is like, "I got you," or something along those lines. Like I was just like, that is so adorable. I love it. Lady Gaga just seems like a very nice person. And Eliza Minnelli, probably best known for her role in Arrested Development. Yeah.
I just realized that the hosts also just took 2 jabs at Ridley Scott throughout. They took a jab at the accents in House of Gucci, but they also said that no one has seen The Last Duel.
Yeah, I kind of felt...
I just realized that was twice.
Yeah. I felt a little bad for him. A
little bit, yeah.
I was like, this guy's an entrepreneur.
Legend.
He's
an entrepreneur.
He's an entrepreneur. He made the film industry, Simon.
An entrepreneur.
But yeah. Yeah, I was just like, man, why are you guys fucking kicking this guy? He's awesome. He's amazing.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It went too much on him, maybe. But
now imagine if Ridley Scott came there and just slapped them in the fucking face. Okay. Anyways,
you and the slapping them in the face thing. You just can't let this go. Here, Adrian, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I maybe have missed something else, a couple other things. But there were 2 things we talked about. We talked about the Oscars over the last few weeks on our podcast multiple times. We talked about something specific, and it was the voted awards on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian, we just can't avoid talking about the chosen best movie moment and of all time, and the best movie, or the fan favorite movie of 2021. The fan favorite movie of 2021 was Army of the Dead. Let's just go there for a second.
Yeah.
Obviously directed by Zack Snyder. If there's any fans that own Twitter, it's Zack Snyder's fans. And the proof of that is the fact that somehow the best movie moment of all time is Zack Snyder's Justice League, in which freaking Flash breaks the whatever it's called, the Flash barrier, the Time Force. Was it Time Force? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Something like that. He breaks the sand. He runs so fast that the timeline gets fucked. He reverses time.
Yeah, but it's like, what?
The Speed Force.
Speed Force. Thank you.
Jesus.
How ridiculous is that? How is that the best movie moment of all time? Now, we're not talking about last year. We're talking about of all time, Adrian. It outranked the crazy moment in Spider-Man No Way Home, which we're not going to spoil here because we're just so great. Because we don't spoil anything, of course.
It outranked the Avengers Assemble moment in Avengers Endgame.
How unbelievable.
Which was second place.
Outranked, which even the Matrix one, I was like, yeah, that's a great choice. When freaking, that's like a heavily referenced scene where, what's his name? Neo does that weird backflip thing where it's slow motion bullets over his head. And he's like waving his arms somehow and dodging bullets.
Yeah, when he's like, I'm the Matrix, and he does the back. Yeah, he like lies back.
Yeah, I am the Matrix, he says, and does that cool, breakdancing move. And that somehow was worse than the Speed Force, which honestly the clip even shows, and I feel like wasn't even good. Oh man, Twitter loves Zack Snyder.
They do.
I can't believe it wasn't. I thought it was going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League for sure, but it wasn't. And I think the reason why is because that's not technically a 2021 movie, and that was proven by the fact that it didn't win.
Yeah.
And that's why Army of the Dead won. And then the other notable thing, and this is why you don't give, the people who chose Bodie McBoatface the reins to choose the best movies. And that's the internet, guys. You don't give the internet the choice as to what the best movie moment is or what the best movie is. They chose a Johnny Depp movie, which I've never seen and I hadn't even heard of. It's the second most popular movie of 2021 somehow.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, it's Minamata. Did you see that? You saw that, right? You recognized it was Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, didn't that movie come out in 2020? No, maybe 2021. But yeah,
it had to have been 2021 because it was in the running, and I think they were being technical about that because again, they didn't include. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League would have won if they let it win. I think they just disqualified it. But Minute Matter, it has to be because of
The controversy.
the Johnny Depp scandal.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because
100%.
yeah, it's like it just became like an internet like meme situation. It feels like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Was this smart? This is what we kind of said would happen, but I don't know if we really guessed that they were going to just troll it this hard. But I guess it makes perfect sense.
I'm just glad it wasn't that Cinderella movie that looks like fucking the worst shit ever.
That was in the running.
I know. I'm just glad it wasn't the winner.
Yeah, it's very interesting, to be clear. But were you not shocked? I texted you, by the way, but after that moment with the flash.
Whoa. You didn't text me.
Of course, yeah. Any texts I go to you anyway, because we have a safeguard in place. It's like almost like spyware, but it's like a program that anything I text you, it automatically sends back to Jimmy, which is our sound technician, and he sends that text along to you because we cannot send a text to each other directly, and he has to reword it. He has to paraphrase to make sure that we can talk. Because of course, Adrian, we do not talk outside this podcast.
No, never have, never will. Never have, never will.
Yeah, this is getting elaborate, but anyway, yeah. So that's my 2 cents on the Oscars.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about it.
That's my 3 cents on the Oscars. Mine's more valuable, Simon.
Oh wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Mine's 2 cents American. So.
Oh no, that's like $3 Canadian. That's bullshit. Fuck.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, I like the Oscars a lot. I was happy the Coda won. Troy Kotzer's speech was really good. Will Smith shouldn't have slapped a guy in the face, and he probably should have been removed from the event. And yeah, Dune kind of killed it.
Yeah,
that's my 4 cents.
I'm still confused how Denis Villeneuve wasn't nominated as Best Director. I will add that as well.
Pretty weird. Yeah. Jane Campion deserved the win though for Best Director too. I think. Like honestly, I don't know. I wasn't on set, but like that movie, Power of the Dog, is really good as well. It's really good. I really did think it might win, but when Coda won, I was just like, what? That's so awesome. I don't know. It's just great to see a movie that's that uplifting win. That's what I love so much.
3 for 3 for Coda. 3 nominations, 3 wins. Good for it.
Yeah. Cool. Adrian, you just got to see it now.
I'm going to.
I'm excited for you to see it. I don't get to see it for the first time again. You do. You get to see it for the first time.
I'm excited for me to see it. Maybe I can slap you so hard that you'll forget.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. All right. Should we move on to number 2?
Sure.
Okay.
But it's crazy because we technically already did number 2, but we're moving on to number 2.
Stop making poo jokes, okay, Adrian? Come on.
I actually wasn't. I didn't even think about that, but I'm not that clever.
Alrighty, number 2. As website IndieWire reports, director Ty West has secretly written and filmed a prequel to his recent A24 produced horror film X, and he plans to be completely done the film by May 2022. The plot of X follows a group of individuals filming a porno on a farm in Texas during the 1970s, up until murder ensues against this unsuspecting group of filmmakers. X stars Cure for Wellness actor Mia Goth, Scream 5 actor Jenna Ortega, and Pitch Perfect actor Brittany Snow. The prequel to X is set to be called Pearl and was written by Ty West during a COVID quarantine. When Ty West proposed the idea for the prequel, A24 was more than happy to let him build out his X universe, and he've even come to expect a potential trilogy from him. Once the production for X had wrapped up, West realized that he had all the elements in place to swiftly film his pre-written prequel, considering he already had the cast of X and the Avatar 2 film crew working on his approved COVID-safe set. It simply made sense to film his 2 horror films back to back. The edit for the film is now officially completed, and he's looking to go out to Nashville in the next month to have the music scored for the production. The new movie is set to follow an old woman by the name of Pearl, who lives on the Texas farm in which the pornographic movie was being filmed during the events of X. Adrian, you watched X.
I did.
As you talked about last week and reviewed last week.
I did.
What do you make of this secret news, this reveal that he had filmed secretly a prequel and that this movie's pretty much done, basically? Like, we're almost at May now. Yeah,
we are almost at May now. I love this. I love the idea of directors kind of making like secret movies. Whether it's, like a secret prequel, a secret sequel, a movie that you watch and then all of a sudden it's revealed that it's, like setting up for something else. I love this sort of stuff. And again, me and you have talked about it at length, that movie Life, how much we wish that movie was actually like a secret prequel to Venom, but alas, it was not. Because Sony did not have the foresight to do something that cool.
They lacked imagination, Adrian. They lacked imagination.
It's unfortunate. But I love this idea. And Mia Goth, I don't know. I'm curious how it's pronounced.
Pretty sure it's Mia. Maya well, I don't know. There's different spellings, different pronunciations, but
Mia
Maya, I think, is most
Goth.
likely Maya in most situations, I feel like, but I don't know.
Pronunciation. The hit segment of our show. How the hell you say that?
It changes its name each time. You know, Adrian, I kind of feel bad about the whole Gotham situation with the spoiling aspect. Did we make a mistake?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
About his girlfriend Mia Goth's mother.
Mia Goth. You're right.
What a weird way to show that.
I know. Yeah, I was on the how to pronounce Mia Goth, and then it was like this 10 seconds of nothing, and then it segues into some talk show guy.
You know why I feel bad about the Gotham thing? Because now when you're talking about X, now people are like, well, maybe he's going to spoil X2, or maybe he's going to spoil King Richard.
No, in X2, the end of that movie, Jean Grey.
That's good. Yeah, I said the X universe, and I'm like, oh, that's just ridiculous. You know what? Okay, that's another thing. Like, do the people not know what the X-Men universe is? Just to talk about Ken's email, because of the fact that it's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, well, I don't know.
No. Because the X-Men universe still continued. Like, the X-Men universe just technically ended only a few years ago.
It did, but it kind of was soft rebooted.
Yeah, I guess so. But all those characters stuck around. Or most of them, I guess. It's confusing.
Kinda. I don't know.
Anyways.
Again, people know what the Fantastic Four is.
Fan-Fortastic, because of that hit movie, Fan-Fortastic.
Yeah. But you know what I didn't do? But after we read about the email and we rebutted it and we talked about it, thanks, Ken. Thank you, Kenneth. Really, honestly, seriously. Thank you for writing into us. I appreciate you. You write in every week, and we really appreciate it. It spurs our conversation. We invite, again, anybody to write into us at splitfocuspodcast@gmail.com. We will address your comments on the show. But anyway, yeah, Adrian, moving on to the X universe.
Yeah.
We're not going to spoil it because we do not spoil anything on this show. Except for what we just did with Gotham. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing we've ever spoiled in the 91 episodes.
Mia Gotham.
We barely spoiled it. Again, we didn't even spoil it. If it was in the trailers, we can say it here. That's the rule.
Yeah, it's a rule.
Yeah, that's what happened. They were in the trailers. That's what we did.
Yeah. Anyways.
Sorry, my conscience is talking to me. Jiminy Cricket is on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Kicking me in the ear.
Oh my goodness. That must be painful.
His tiny little feet.
I hate feet. I have the opposite of a foot fetish. Anyways.
A foot fear. You're footophobic.
Yeah, footophobic. Footophobia. Anyways, I digress, Simon, like you digress often. So anyways, I love this as an idea.
You digress far more than me.
We all digress together.
Anyways, just continue, Adrian. Come on.
Anyways, I love this as an idea. I think what you can do in a prequel to that X movie, I think is pretty. I'm curious about it. And what's really awesome about it is that Mia Goth plays two characters in that movie. One is, the main character. I forget her name.
Is that a spoiler?
No.
Okay, so that's well known. That's a well-known thing for that movie.
If you just look up the cast, you know this. They're two different characters. It's not like...
I know, but you can look up the cast to the Batman and have something pretty big revealed for you.
I guess. I don't know. I just think it's just the actor that just did an amazing job playing two characters. I don't know. I think it has nothing to do with the plot of the movie.
Oh, okay. It's unrelated to the plot.
Yeah. It is.
There's
totally
no connection.
Unrelated. Oh, no. It's not like...
Okay, good to know. Yeah. Oh, because I was reading that article from IndieWire and it said that in there. And I knew you mentioned it the week before. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't really worry about this as a spoiler. Yeah. But I was like, why are they mentioning this in this article? Is it a bit too much? But I guess it's no connection. So that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like basically a Austin Powers situation.
Very much so. This movie, X, is, I think, a secret sequel to Austin Powers, actually.
Spiritual successor is what it is.
Very much so. But anyways, Mia Goth did such an amazing job playing both those characters. So I think it's a brilliant move for Ty West to do this prequel. Just bring her back because she's just playing one of the characters she played in the movie. And again, make another horror movie out of this. I'm curious where the story will go, what timeline it will take place in exactly, and kind of just what will happen with this. And again, like I said, I love the idea of these like secret sequels and prequels and stuff like that. I think, there's some big ones out there like when they dropped like that Cloverfield movie on Netflix as an example, like just like, oh, this was filmed, it was done, and they just fucking dropped it. I love shit like that. I think it's very exciting. Even like at the, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but I feel like it's common knowledge now. With the end of Split, how at the end of Split, it was revealed that it was actually a sequel to Unbreakable, and then they did like that Glass movie. They like announced like, oh yeah, Glass, by the way, has been filming, like that's coming out soon too. You know what I mean? Which is also by
it's not a spoiler. We're not spoiling anything on Split Focus, a film and TV podcast.
I know I'm not
had
spoiling.
That been a spoiler, I would have said no.
You'd have been like, stop.
We're taking that out. I'm taking it out. I would have taken it out.
Stop is what you would have said.
Gotham is the only exception.
Yeah. Okay.
That one spoiler, which isn't a spoiler because it was in the trailer. You just said you thought it was a spoiler. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So stop doing that.
Well, because it was a surprise when the movie was released. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not a surprise anymore. Well, obviously Glass came out. And it clearly has both the Split dude, like James McAvoy, who's absolutely unreal on that. Honestly, he could have been nominated for Best Actor for that.
I agree. I agree completely.
He was wild.
Yeah. But again, I love this idea of like secret movies and how they're like slightly connected and you don't really know it until you watch it. And you know, in this case, again, just him making an entire prequel to a movie that just came out. And if it's going to be done in May, that means that we're probably going to get this movie by, let's say, I don't know, maybe even early next year. So we don't even have to wait that long. And again, I think, like I mentioned on my review last week, I really, really love that movie. And if you're a fan of horror in any way at all, it is more than worth it to watch. It's awesome. The way the tension builds throughout it and how it just kind of pops off in the, latter half of the movie and just kind of these amazing performances by everyone involved. I really, really love that movie. It's very terrifying. And the more I thought about it, the more I like it. And again, if I can get more of this X universe, I'm fucking sold, dude. I'm sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I'm very excited for this. And again, Simon, I know you don't like horror, but you should give this a look.
I don't hate horror. I just don't love horror.
Yeah. It's definitely not like, it's not like a super unique horror. It's unique in its own, like, kind of like cinematography and stuff. It kind of honestly reminds me of Midsummer. The more I was thinking about it, I was like, the way like these like long shots, happen with like this slow creeping music building up. It's like almost like tenseness, this level of uncomfortability that you kind of have that I think Midsummer especially just like absolutely mastered. It's really great. And how we talked, I think it was last week, we briefly talked about like how I always write my movies down on a list on just like my notes in my phone.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, there's this app that you should download called Letterboxd. I actually made a Letterboxd account.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't end up doing it. I should have.
Yeah, I actually made it. What I'm doing is I'm just slowly going through the movies I've watched. Like I'm literally just going through the list and then I'm like putting in the exact day I watched it and stuff like that. So I still have that like little diary portion that I know when I watched it. I'm just adding little reviews as I'm going. I haven't done all my movies. I've only done like a handful, but it's pretty cool. I like this Letterboxd application and like you can it just like shows up on your feed, random people reviewing movies and stuff like that. So I don't know if you can like add friends or add people that you follow, but I quite like it. I think this app is really neat and I'm pretty into it. But yeah, in my X review, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
I feel like it should be 4.5. I almost want to put it 4.5. But I wrote, are you ready for this, Simon?
Yeah.
The way suspense and tension builds throughout this movie is absolutely masterful. And when it pops off, you're in for a wild ride. That's my review. You're going to do little reviews like that. Yeah.
Wow, pops off. That explains why you said pops off moments ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I also did a little review for The Batman. I wrote, this shit is tight as all hell.
That's it?
No, I added more to it, but I was like, that's a good line. It's a good way to start a review. Robert Pattinson does an amazing job as Batman, while Jeffrey Wright comes in with the best Gordon we've ever seen on screen. The detective angle is what sets Bat Reeves, the Batman from the movies that have come before it.
Gary Oldman's pretty great, though.
He's phenomenal, but I just feel like the play between Jeffrey Wright and Robert Pattinson and just like this version of Gordon that we're getting is just really great. I'm not saying that Gary Oldman's Gordon is bad. I think that's absolutely exceptional. Gary Oldman's one of the greatest actors of our generation, Simon, you've said before.
I haven't said that for many, many moons, many podcasts. I said it like twice, and the second time I said it, you're like, you say that every day.
You literally post it on your wall. You write it with permanent marker on your wall every single day. You wake up, and that's the first thing you do.
Yeah, that's all I do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pretty crazy wall, let me tell you.
Yeah,
Just a white wall with black writing, sometimes red.
that's crazy. Just like the Riddler.
Huh?
Just like the Riddler in the hit movie The Batman that we were just talking about.
You would probably use green writing,
Oh yeah, you're right.
but hey, what do I know?
Anyways,
Okay, Adrian, that's exciting.
super exciting.
It's exciting stuff. Indeed. Let's move on to number 3. As followed by publication deadline, Google's video-on-demand website, YouTube, has just added 4,000 TV series episodes and 1,500 movies for free, subsidized by advertisements, to their service in the United States. Traditionally, YouTube's main source of income since their inception has been ad revenue, which specifically garnered $8.6 billion for YouTube's recent fourth quarter alone.
Wow.
Some of these new added titles are actually from Disney, Warner Brothers, and Paramount's catalog of film and TV offerings, with Gone in 60 Seconds, Legally Blonde, and many episodes of Hell's Kitchen having been added to the service. Google plans to rotate in approximately 100 new titles every month. Adrian, what do you make of this?
Well, Simon, what I make of this is that I know that this isn't here in Canada, right? This is only for the United States, as you declared there. Am I correct about that? Any plans to add it like internationally? Did they say?
I don't know what's happening internationally with that, because the articles that I read, including this deadline one, mentioned the US specifically. But when you go on to the YouTube website, you can see that there are free movies on there. So I don't know if that was something we already had, but I couldn't find Hell's Kitchen. So I was like, I guess this is
Love Hell's Kitchen.
the titles for just the US at the moment. That's what I'm getting.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure exactly. But again, go on for yourself if you're a Canadian listening to this podcast, which I feel like a lot of our listeners are. You can go on YouTube's website and just look up, there's like a movies and TV section, and then you can actually just search for free stuff. There's also, of course, you can buy and rent movies. They've got that YouTube video on demand catalog there too. Video, like paid video on demand. But yeah, it looks cool. It's a neat idea. I hope we get the same idea, like same catalog. But even if you look at Netflix, our Netflix catalog, when it's not a Netflix original series, has always been different from between the Canada and the United States catalog. I feel like there's two different teams working on the curation between those kind of movie listing aspects. Like for a long time, people thought that somehow Netflix was a lot worse in Canada. I didn't actually believe that. There was actually just different content for Canada and the US, but in the very beginning, certainly the US had a better catalog. And now I don't really think it matters, especially because the original content is the main reason Netflix even pulls me in at all. I barely even go there for the other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. The odd show here and there, but
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like this as an idea, though. It's nice because it's free. You know what I mean? There's no additional subscription required, nothing like that. And it's a large selection of movies. Yeah, there's ads.
Stack TV.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Stack TV. Stack TV sucks. That actually pisses me off. You pay $10 and then you still get an ad. God damn it.
Yeah.
Stack TV sucks. Anyways.
It's weird, though. I thought about it recently. And like when you paid for cable, you used to pay monthly for cable through Rogers or Bell or whatever. And then you'd get ads anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar in that way, I guess. It's like it's trying to like bring the old way back to the new way, like into the new way kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't want that though.
Nah, neither do I. That's exactly what's
okay.
Like that's so dumb. Like I don't want to recreate cable, but through the internet. That's not what I wanted. Like I don't want to recreate the ABC, like, but I'm just subscribing to every channel separately. That's a la carte, but it's honestly not the greatest. I don't know. So that would not be good if they did that. So it's not the greatest thing about the video on demand age that we're in is at least we don't have to deal with ads. But then again, Disney Plus is creating an ad tier. So
yeah,
I guess we don't really get a choice, but yeah.
Quibi.
Gone
too soon.
Quick bites. Ka-cha, ka-cha.
Quick bites. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like this idea though. Honestly, like the idea that all you need really is just access to the internet, and you still have access to literally thousands of episodes of television and like over 1,000 movies. Again, yeah, there are ads, but hey, man, it's free. You can't really complain if maybe you're tight on a budget or something like that. You can't afford like Netflix. Blah 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 blah. You're living paycheck to paycheck, like I imagine many Americans are. I don't think that there's really anything negative about this. Yeah, Google's making a shit ton of money with their ad revenue, but at the very least, you're getting something for a very low cost. That cost really just being your time having to watch advertisements. And I don't know. I think this is a really good way to do it. And I kind of wish that Disney, instead of doing like an ad-based tier that you have to pay for, they would just do like, actually, you have access to a lot of our catalog, but there are advertisements like everywhere, every like 5 minutes or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is a way better way to do it. And I'm also curious that if you're like a YouTube Premium subscriber, do you get access to all these series and movies without ads? That's also like a really interesting idea. I'm curious because I have YouTube Premium. I might look up one of those like free movies here on YouTube and see if it'll play any ads.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to guess not.
I would say no. I'd say probably, yeah. If you're paying for the subscription, what do you pay? $10 a month?
Yeah, something like that. I have the family plan with YouTube Premium. I think it's like $18 or some shit. Because like YouTube Music, YouTube Premium, and then like I think 6 users or something like that. So it's a whole thing. But honestly, I feel like that never comes off my credit card. I'm curious. Or if it does, I never notice it on my statement. But I've had it for years.
What doesn't come off your credit card?
That $18 a month. Like I feel like I never notice YouTube charging me every single month.
So you pay $18?
I think so. I think it's $18, yeah.
For what?
For YouTube Premium, and like you get YouTube Music and all of that sort of stuff with it too. Sorry,
I was a little distracted. I was just checking that. I was trying to see if there's ads, or what's available right now on some of these YouTube free movies and TV shows, but I couldn't find it. So
I actually did get. I just literally pulled up my credit card statement and I was like, oh yeah, there's the YouTube.
That's expensive. $18 is actually really a lot of money because you don't even use music anymore. You've been using Spotify.
Yeah, that's true. I don't pay for Spotify though.
Yes, so?
I mean, I guess you're right. But honestly, like for me, it's worth it because the amount of YouTube I watch is like a shit ton. Like,
is that the only tier?
I think so.
I would never pay $18.
Maybe there's a tier where you can cut out.
There's no way in heck. There's no way I would ever pay $18 just to remove ads. Per month.
Well, you don't have
Not
to.
per year, per month.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Is that what you're saying? Per month?
Yeah, it's per month.
That's the most outrageous. You were complaining about Netflix charging too much. What? Netflix? That's almost more expensive than Netflix.
I probably watch more YouTube than any other service, though, realistically.
Yeah, but I watch it for free.
Yeah, but I don't want to watch advertisements.
Yeah, I don't know. If you could see my face right now, it's kind of shocked. I somehow didn't realize it was $18 because you also don't use YouTube Music. You just haven't been using it.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, I stopped using it like a few months ago. There's
got to be another tier, man. You got to look at that.
I'll look it up.
I swear they advertised it for me for like $6 to $10. I could be wrong. Maybe not. But if they'd shown me $18, I would have shut my laptop in anger. Like, what?
You would have you would have broken your laptop.
No, I wouldn't have broken the laptop.
You would have been like, French fry this.
Not anger, frustration. Frustration's a better word in this situation. Okay, Adrian.
I'm frustrated is what you would have said.
Yeah, I if I recall, what I was actually looking for while I was talking to you there on YouTube was I feel like I checked it earlier when I wrote this story, and it said that Brooklyn, the movie with Saoirse Ronan, was on there for free in Canada, which is like a 97% of Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it was Oscar nominated in a few categories. So I was like, I looked at that, I was like, what is that for free? There's a bunch of, it's kind of confusing though, because there's just a little tiny like word below the, like below it says buy rent, like in like with a slash. It's like buy/rent. So it's like, it's kind of confusing. Some of like, it will say free with ads and then it will say buy rent. And it's kind of like not exactly categorized in a way that I love the UI. Like I feel like it could be definitely improved, but it is what it is. Free is free. Pretty good deal.
All is free and love and free.
I remember that the only time I've ever watched, I'm pretty sure the movie Tron was on YouTube, but it was in my housemate, actually my roommate in university. We lived in the same kind of room because it was residence, and he literally turned on Tron, and like by like halfway I'm like, where'd you get this? And he's like, it's just on YouTube, and some guy had uploaded Tron, the Disney movie, to YouTube. Like it wasn't the free version, like it was just like Tron uploaded. I'm like, oh okay, we're just stealing this. And it wasn't the greatest quality, but it was okay.
Don't you remember like there was like a bunch of those like YouTube like channels on YouTube that were just streaming Rick and Morty 24/7 because it was like you couldn't get it in Canada. It was like so difficult to get like Adult Swim. So literally just a bunch of people would just post it on YouTube. and just like have like a 24-hour stream just cycling through all the Rick and Morty episodes.
That's such a stupid oversight. You know what I mean? Like you just forget about a whole country and just, it's okay. We don't want to give it to them. It's like you probably would make more money than you're going to spend to put it up. Maybe they've calculated that it wouldn't. I don't know. It's a weird situation. The strangest thing, before we move on from this story about this whole thing, is that they're taking these movies from Disney, Warner Brothers, and Paramount, which was noted in the Deadline article specifically, and I'm sure there's other movie producers as well that are involved. But I'm mentioning this because they have their own streaming services. HBO Max is obviously Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. You got Disney Plus and you got Paramount Plus. So why are they allowing this? Like, why would they license these titles out? Apparently, they're not necessarily exclusive for any of these movies, though. So that's one of those things. It's not like Harry Potter was exclusive to Peacock and then exclusive to HBO Max and then exclusive to Peacock and they kept going back and forth, like the Harry Potter octology. It's weird. That's the only thing I thought was kind of strange, because you'd think that Disney would be like, no, I'm not allowing this. If you want to watch a Disney movie, you come to Disney Plus. We're trying to build our catalog. Yeah. You're not going to go watch it for free on YouTube. So that's kind of the most puzzling part, I feel like, of the whole situation, is that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
These guys are fighting tooth and nail to try and be the best streaming service. And I guess they calculated that it doesn't really matter that YouTube airs some of their content for free. So they're like, yeah, whatever. We'll take your money, YouTube. No problem. I don't know. It's interesting.
It is very much so. By the way, YouTube Premium, there are 2 tiers. There's YouTube Music Premium and then YouTube Premium, which is $2 extra. So if you want to get YouTube Premium, you have to have YouTube Music Premium. You can't just get like YouTube Premium.
So how much does that cost?
It's the same price that I just told you, the $17.
I just want to hear it again. I want you to say it. So what'd you say?
$17. $17.
I can't believe that. I cannot literally believe it's $17. It is so much money.
$18.
Is that worth more than Disney Plus as a streaming service as a whole, in your opinion?
No, probably not. But
like Netflix is now more expensive, but it wasn't long ago.
It's true.
I feel like it's not long now before Netflix is $28 a month. But anyway, guess we'll see.
We will.
$30, $50. But okay, Adrian, now on to the montage. A sequence of our show in which I briefly present the week's smaller news stories as Adrian delivers a brisk verdict. Number 1. As website Collider reports, the Netflix Penn Badgley starring thriller series, You.
Me?
Has begun production on season 4.
Me? What do you mean?
Oh, that's all you had to say. Okay. Number 2. As reported by publication Variety, The Hunt actor Betty Gilpin has been cast in the Peacock TV series Mrs. Davis. Gilpin will play a nun fighting against AI in this new series from The Leftovers showrunner Damon Lindelof and Young Sheldon screenwriter Tara Hernandez.
It's just such an odd combination. All of this. A nun fighting against AI from the showrunner of The Leftovers, but with the screenwriter of Young Sheldon. It's just like, what? But honestly, anything Damon Lindelof's attached to, I'm sold. So
Number 3. As tech website The Verge reports, Netflix is working on an anime series adaptation for the fighting video game series Tekken, called Tekken Bloodline, which is planned for a streaming premiere later in 2022.
I watched the trailer for this, and it doesn't look too bad, but I have little to no connection to Tekken. So
Number 4. As reported by publication Deadline, HBO Max has renewed their Sex and the City renewal series, and just like that, for a second season.
Interesting. I haven't watched any of that, either of those.
Number 5. As Variety reports, Cheaper by the Dozen actor Gabrielle Union has been cast in the Octavia Spencer starring Apple TV Plus true crime TV series Truth Be Told.
Which Cheaper by the Dozen?
The new one.
Oh, okay.
Number 6. According to Deadline, previous Wednesday actor Christina Ricci has been cast as a currently unannounced character in creator Tim Burton's Addams Family Netflix spin-off series Wednesday. Ex-actor Jenna Ortega is set to play Wednesday in the new series.
Oh, okay. That's cool that they're bringing her back. I wonder who she will play.
Number 7. As Variety reports, the Legendary Pictures sequel to blockbuster hit Godzilla vs. Kong is looking to start production in Australia by the end of 2022.
So is this Godzilla vs. Kong 2, or is this just another Godzilla movie? Or another Kong movie?
Visible shrug. Number 8. Actually, invisible shrug, because I'm on a podcast.
I was just about to say, I can't see you shrug, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, number 8. As Deadline reports, network The CW has renewed the TV series Riverdale, Superman and Lois, Kung Fu, The Flash, Nancy Drew, All-American, and Walker for future seasons. Rumors are still brewing about TV conglomerate Next Star looking to purchase the CW from CBS and Warner Brothers.
Interesting. Series is such a weird word when you really think about it.
Well, it's just series.
Ziz.
You wouldn't say the ziz. We just did that. I just did that
For clarification.
because you do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, number 9. As Variety reports, the Steve Martin, Selena Gomez, and Martin Short starring comedy series Only Murders in the Building will see its second season premiere on the Hulu streaming service for June 28th, 2022.
I can't wait. This show is brilliant. This show is fantastic. This show is great.
Number 10. As reported by Variety, a live-action film adaptation of the 1980s animated series Voltron is being developed by Red Notice director Rawson Thurber Marshall.
Oh, interesting. I have no attachment to Voltron.
And that concludes the montage.
Blah, that's most, not some, of the stories this week. Or is it some, not most of the stories? What would you say?
That's some, not most of the stories.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Is that a reference to Kenneth's letter?
It was indeed. I'm bringing it back, baby. That's
It's a pretty obscure...
my classic shtick. It's my classic shtick where I bring things back and then I yell, I'm bringing it back, baby. Remember that when I did that in previous episodes? It's like I'm bringing that back.
Yeah, like every episode of Split Focus, a film and TV podcast.
It's my shtick, Simon. It's my shtick.
You know what also is your shtick, Adrian? You telling me what you got for me. What have you got for me, Adrian, this week? What do you have? What do you got?
I got new releases for you, Simon.
Really?
Yeah, and this is probably most of the movies, not some of the movies coming out this week. And this week is March 28th to April the 3rd. That's a Monday to a Sunday, as per usual. And then the first movie coming out this week, Simon, is coming out on Wednesday, March 30th. And that movie is called All Hail, which is a Netflix Spanish drama about a famous TV weatherman who becomes public enemy number 1. It's because he fails to predict like a natural disaster or something like that.
Don't they have other weathermen?
You'd hope so, but I guess he's the only weatherman
in Spain.
In all of Spanish.
He doesn't live in Spain?
I don't know. It just said it's a Spanish drama. So I'm going to guess Spain.
Oh, you may not.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a Spanish-speaking drama or if it's a Spanish drama from Spain.
Okay. Cool.
Because other places,
Good
they
research.
speak Spanish. They speak Spanish in Mexico.
Yeah.
In Ecuador.
I don't know, but yeah.
In some of the United States.
Yeah. It's true, Adrian. Yeah, great research you've done on this.
Thanks, man.
Great work.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, yeah. No worries. That was sarcasm. What's the next movie coming out?
It's Broken Idol, The Undoing of Diomedes Diaz. This is a Netflix original Colombian documentary about the rise of one of the country's biggest...
Idols?
Yeah, singers.
Okay.
Singers, idols, same thing. I guess they speak Spanish in Colombia, don't they? Or is Colombian a language? Probably not. I don't know. I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to languages. I know 2 of them.
I'm pretty sure they speak Spanish.
Or Portuguese?
Nope.
Who knows?
They speak Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, same with Ecuador, as you
knew it. I was so certain.
As you said. Yeah.
Trust No One is coming up next. And Trust No One is the subheading, and then anyways, Trust No One: The Hunt for the Crypto King. This is a Netflix original documentary about the young founder of a collapsing cryptocurrency exchange. Who dies unexpectedly.
Oh no.
And all these investors are like, there's more to this death, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways. The next movie that's coming out on Thursday, March 31st, Simon. And the first one is Air Bud, Super Pup Zed. It's a Netflix original new movie starring puppies in superhero costumes. Air Bud, Simon. I made that reference at the beginning of the show.
So you brought it forward, is what you did.
I brought it forward.
You didn't bring it back. Bring it forward.
Jinx. That's a good one.
I said that literally first, and then you said it second. How is that Jinx?
No, it's Jinx. We said it at the same time.
We didn't. And you can tell in the recording because this is a recorded podcast.
You just edited it however you want. That's what you do.
I didn't. I did not.
Agree to disagree. Moonshot is up next. It's confirmed by Movie Insider, and it's coming at HBO Max, Simon. This is a romantic comedy following some 20-something-year-old people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You think it's going to be good?
No idea.
Yeah, me neither. It's probably going to come to Crave, I'm guessing. I'm going to guess it's coming to Crave. It's got Cole Sprouse.
Oh.
You know Cole Sprouse?
Yeah. He's got a fake twin. Like they duplicated him. And he's basically a twin of himself. Because it's like Parent Trap. Like where Lindsay Lohan is not.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Like she's not Lindsay Lohan. Like there's no two Lindsay Lohans. Like there's no Lindsay and
Lansy.
Katinzi Lohan. Yeah. There's only one Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
Just like in the episodes of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, where there's only one Sprouse, and his name is Cole.
Yeah, Cole is this one.
Yes. Yeah, there's no other Sprouse. There's only one. And the other one is the body double. Body double tricks are being used, just like in Parent Trap.
Simon,
I'm not wrong, right? Just to be clear.
No, you're totally 100% correct.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of just reminded me of, I know this is totally random, but it's kind of connected. You remember that conspiracy theory that Avril Lavigne, Canadian singer Avril Lavigne, was replaced?
I don't really understand. Sorry, what happened? I know there was a conspiracy theory, but I try to, I block out the conspiracy theories sometimes. So what was that?
So
what happened? She was replaced.
So Avril Lavigne, she died back in 2003. Okay, that's the theory.
She didn't. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
After her successful debut studio album, Let Go. Okay. And then she was replaced by a body double named Melissa Vendella.
What? They even know the name?
Yes. And so I'm reading this straight off of Wikipedia. I just Googled it because I was like, I forget exactly. So evidence used to support the theory include changes in Lavigne's appearance between 2003 and the present, supposed subliminal messaging in her follow-up effort, Under My Skin, and a photo shoot in which Lavigne has the name Melissa written on her hand. The origins of the theory can be traced back to the 2011 Brazilian blog, Avril Esta Morta, Avril is Dead, which led to conversations on internet forums sharing supposed evidence of Lavigne's replacement. The theory gained more traction in May 2017 when a Twitter user posted a thread recounting the theory. Lavigne herself has denied the theory on multiple occasions. Yeah. I know that didn't necessarily have much to do with what we were talking about, but it just kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Or it did. We don't know.
And she just looks identical to Avril Lavigne?
No, but she looks slightly different, Simon. That's the point.
Oh, I see.
And she wrote Melissa on her hand during a photo shoot, Simon.
Why would you write your own name on your hand?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the big question. Yeah, that makes the most logical sense because somebody she wrote her own name on the hand so she could launch a subliminal message so that she could convince people that she's trapped or like who
or not.
So is Melissa kidnapped?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Her family's being threatened?
Yeah. All of those things could be real.
Yeah, of course.
The rest of these movies, Simon, are coming out on Friday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. All right?
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you every single one of these movies, I'm going to say April Fool's after. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, first one is Apollo 10 and a Half, A Space-Age Childhood. This is a Netflix original hybrid animated movie about the historic moon landing in 1969 from the perspective of a young boy. This is from Richard Linklater, the filmmaker.
Okay, yeah.
April Fool's, Simon. Just kidding.
That's a movie that's coming out though, right?
It is, yeah. Or it's not, because it's April Fool's. Everything on this list is possibly not coming out because it's April Fool's. Okay?
I don't think that's...
Anyways, next up is the movie Captain Nova. This is a Netflix original Dutch sci-fi movie. That's apparently kind of like Lost in Space, the Netflix original series. That's apparently really good that I never watched.
Yeah.
April Fool's, Simon. Just kidding. This movie is coming out, or it's not. Who knows? I'm going to keep on doing this bit. No, I'm not gonna. I'm actually bored of it. Anyways, next up is Celeb 5 Behind the Curtain. This is a Netflix original fake VCR style comedy following the private discussions of comedians filled with skits, bits, and improv. I don't know what a fake VCR style comedy is, but maybe that just like looks like it's old school. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe.
Next up is Forever Out of My League. This is a Netflix original Italian rom-com. And then we got arguably, I guess, the biggest release on Netflix, the one that's getting the most buzz. I actually haven't watched the trailer for this yet. The Bubble, which is the Netflix original comedy directed by Judd Apatow. And it's apparently about like these actors and actresses that are stuck inside like a hotel because of the pandemic. And they're attempting to complete a sequel to like a movie about like flying dinosaurs or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. It's interesting. Judd Apatow, I like most of his movies, honestly.
But not all of them.
I haven't watched all of them.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I've watched some or most.
That's a weird way to say that. I like most of his movies because I've only seen some of them.
Yeah.
People don't usually say it like that.
Well, I like some of his movies or most of his movies, depending on how many of his movies I've watched.
Do you like all of the movies that you've watched?
I think so.
Then why don't you just say it like that? Isn't that easier for the audience to understand what you're saying?
I don't know, man.
We can't.
Most or some.
We're not psychic. Most or some. Most or some.
Anyways,
So
next up is Better Nate Than Never, Simon. It's confirmed by Movie Insider. It's coming to Disney Plus. It's a musical about a boy named Nate with his dreams of going to Broadway. Yeah. Better Nate Than Never. What a good name for a movie. I feel like I said that before. I feel like I announced this movie before.
I don't think so.
No?
You're having some deja vu, maybe.
I feel like I did.
I don't remember.
Better Nate Than Never.
Well, you can look up in the document. You can just search the document. But I don't think this is the time for that.
Yeah, who cares? Anyways, next up is a movie called Every Last Secret. This is confirmed by Movie Insider. Sorry, that's a lie. It's confirmed by the most reliable source on the internet, m.the-numbers.com, and the Apple TV application. This is a video-on-demand movie about a young girl that takes a liking to a war veteran that suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
The next movie coming out is The Nameless Days. It's confirmed by the most reliable source on the internet, m.the-numbers.com, and the Apple TV app. This is a video-on-demand movie about a young Texas Ranger and a Mexican immigrant that sneak across the border to rescue his pregnant sister, only to be pursued by a demon, Simon.
Yikes.
Next up is The Contractor. This is confirmed by Movie Insider and the trailer. This is coming to theaters. However, it's not on the Cineplex application, so I guess not coming to Canadian theaters. This is an action movie starring Chris Pine and Ben Foster.
Wow.
And the next two movies coming out are You Won't Be Alone, which is confirmed by Cineplex itself, about a young girl in the 19th century that is kidnapped and transformed into a witch. And then Simon, the final movie that we're going to go watch this week with our good pal Ken, Morbius.
Oh.
It's confirmed by Cineplex. And I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but the director straight up spoiled this entire fucking movie.
What?
Yeah, he literally just, he spoiled everything about this movie. I'm not even being facetious.
How?
Because he literally just told like all the cameos, pretty much the plot that happens, what they're setting up, the point of the movie, all of this shit. So I don't know if you want to look it up.
Explain to me how he did that. Like, don't tell me what he said, obviously.
It was,
we don't spoil things on Split Focus, a film and TV podcast, unless it was said in the trailer.
It was, I want to say it was with Cinema Blend that he had an interview.
Oh, okay. I think you're just saying he wrote it on Twitter like as tweets.
Oh, no. He was just like responding to all these questions. And he was like, yeah, this person's in it. This person's in it. This is what we're trying to do. This blah, 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 blah.
What? Did you read this?
Yeah, I saw it online. It just like, it was literally on my thing. And like people were like.
And you just kept looking at it like a car crash. You couldn't look away. Like you just kept reading it.
It looks awful. Everything I read about this, I was like, I knew this was going to be bad. God damn it. I was just like, what are you guys doing? It's wild to me. Because honestly, I feel like Sony has a propensity.
Oh man,
I'm not even gonna bother. You know what I'm trying to say? To just spoil the shit. Propensity. Oh my god.
Jeez. Propensity. There you go.
Propensity.
Helped you.
Sony has
You're welcome.
Thanks. You're a good friend. Sony has the propensity. Did I say that right? Propensity.
Yeah.
Okay. They have the It's like when you say the same word too much, or you're trying to say the same word too much, then it loses all meaning. Anyways, they spoil the shit out of their movies a lot of the time in trailers and stuff like that. Again, like I said for our Uncharted review, they literally spoiled that entire movie in their trailers. Like there was absolutely no surprises in that freaking movie. They had the after credit scene in the fucking trailer, man. I was like, what? I don't know what it is.
That was so dumb. Even Spider-Man No Way Home, like they revealed too much. I still think. I know you don't necessarily agree, but I really do think so. And that's kind of a collaboration with Marvel too. So like there was a problem there. Shang-Chi, if we're looking at Marvel, that's why, again, said this last week, that's why I didn't love the Miss Marvel trailer as well, is that they just didn't give enough for a TV show that's 6 hours in contrast to a movie that's 2 hours. Like they're just consistently these, I don't know what it is. Like, why do you think you have to spoil the whole thing? Although the trailer from Morbius doesn't spoil anything.
Yeah, it's just, God.
Except for one thing, Michael Keaton's in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just before we watch this movie, next week we'll review it. I just want to point something out. I'm a little confused. Mm-hmm. Michael Keaton is in the trailer, arguably as Falcon, right?
Yes, Vulture, not Falcon.
Falcon? Who's Falcon?
That's Anthony Mackie.
Oh, it's Anthony Mackie, sorry. Yeah, I was talking about Spider-Man universe.
They look similar, so I don't blame you, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, completely similar. They're doppelgangers. It's easy to confuse them, just like you would confuse Cole Sprouse for having a brother. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if this actually happened. But in the Morbius trailer, is there a picture of Tom Holland where it says he's a murderer?
No, it's not Tom Holland. It's
Spider-Man. A picture of Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man, but it's the I think it's the Tobey Maguire suit. Pretty sure it's the Tobey Maguire suit.
Right, that's in the trailer though, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay. Tobey Maguire suit, even weirder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Spider-Man is in that universe, right?
A Spider-Man is. We don't know which one.
But Michael Keaton is in that universe.
So,
but Venom is referenced in that universe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But Venom is not in Tom Holland's universe.
No.
Right.
So
that is either a plot hole or is going to be something pretty big that happens.
Yeah. Anyways, let me just say, I know the answer to that question because the director spoiled it all online.
Why did you read the spoilers? Are you like some kind of amateur? We do a podcast. You spoiled the movie. Why? You're going to go see it.
I just don't care enough. You're
going to go see it? You're going to spend money to go to see the movie.
Yeah. It looks like shit.
I'm just as like shocked. I have the same shocked face as when you just told me that you spend $18 a month on YouTube Premium.
I do, Simon.
That's the face I have right now. You disappoint me.
It's a dumb looking fucking face.
You don't even know what that is. We're not in the same room, so you have no idea what I look like right now.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know the answer. That sucks. We can't even speculate. Like, dude, do you know we run a podcast, right?
Yeah, speculate away, and I'm going to go, oh, or, oh.
That's useless. You want me to just have a podcast on my own? Yeah. I could just pre-record you saying, oh.
This is the noises I'll make.
It's very some good, Krusty the Clown impression from The Simpsons.
It's some, not most of the noises I'm going to make.
Okay. All right. I think we should wrap this guy up.
Yeah, Simon. We should.
This podcast is done. I was going to speculate, but you just completely ruined it. So we're just going to move on.
Well, did you want me to lie to you?
No, I don't want you to lie to me.
It was just a fucking train wreck.
I just didn't know you spoiled that aspect because that's the coolest part of the movie. That's why I'm excited about it. It's the only reason I'm excited.
Oh, you will be. Or you won't be.
That's not true. That's not the only reason I'm excited. I'm also excited because Jared Leto, I feel like anything that Jared Leto is in, he brings his A game. He brings his absolute A game. Say what you want about Jared Leto's method acting and the way he freaks people out on set, but he does not go half-assed. He tries his hardest.
He was drinking blood. He was drinking blood on the set of Morbius, I heard.
Honestly, maybe.
That guy's a fucking psychopath.
I know you're joking. But honestly,
the guy's a fucking psychopath, Simon.
I don't know. I hope he didn't kill anyone in that movie because
he might be a nice guy.
If he killed someone in the movie, I don't know if he needed to kill someone to be able to do the role.
I hope he's a nice guy, honestly.
No, you know what I'm saying? Did he have to kill? Imagine Jared Leto as playing a serial killer. Wait, he did do that actually.
Yeah, didn't he?
Are there bodies somewhere? He played a serial killer in that movie with Denzel Washington. What's Denzel Washington?
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about? There was like
the one that came out early last year on HBO Max. That one.
Yeah, like it was a short. It wasn't on HBO Max for long because it was like the 30-day HBO Max. It was the day and date releases in theaters.
Yeah, I forget what that movie was called.
I think it was. Am I wrong about who else was in that with him though?
Jared Leto, Denzel Washington movie.
Was it Denzel?
The Little Things.
It was. Yeah, it was Denzel. Yeah. The Little Things.
It was Denzel. And Rami Malek.
Denzel. What are you talking about?
Denzel.
This is like a crazy kind of month for Jared Leto because he's in We Crashed, the TV series on Apple TV Plus about WeWork, and he looks pretty committed again in that role too. So
yeah, he crashed 18 cars with people in it to prep for that.
No, it's not about that. It's about WeWork
movie.
I just told you what it's about. No, they don't literally crash.
66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What is Morbius?
We Crashed.
Yeah, it's not super well regarded, but 67% is not bad. But Rami Malek. You just said that, didn't you?
Rami Malek, yeah.
Did you say Rami Malek was in that movie?
I did say Rami Malek. Yeah, I did.
Okay, just checking because I completely missed that while I was looking it up on IMDb. Adrian, we gotta close this off. I feel like you're too tired. You're not even rebuttaling. You're not even saying anything to me now. So let's just end it.
I'm a little hungry.
Let's end it. Adrian, do you have anything to say to our audience before we wrap this guy up? Before we wrap episode 91 up?
Yes, Simon. You can, all you listeners, you know where to find us already. But you know where you can rate us? You can rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm pretty sure. I think those are the only two services you can rate us on. So do it up. Do it up. Rate us. Listen to us. Tell your friends if you care. We'll be back next week. We definitely watched the Oscars this week.
Yeah.
And
we definitely did. We did. They were great, or they were bad.
Or they were middling.
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape, audience, if you want to know.
Rewind most, but not some of the tape. Or some of the tape, not most of it. I don't
most, know. But not some of the tape. Yeah. No, some, but not most of the tape.
But not most.
Yeah. Yeah, some, because it's about midway through the episode 91.
Like a lump sum.
Yeah. Sorry, is that it? Is that all you had to say?
Yeah, that's all I have. I unplugged my headphones. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the 91st episode of Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. My name is Simon Eady, and this is Adrian Pinter, signing off.
It is I, Adrian Pinter, and I am signing off. And let me tell you that Batman didn't kill most of the people that he fucked up in Batman v Superman. Just some of the people.
By accident.
And it was never intentional.
Yeah.
It was never intentional.
Yeah.
And Batman v Superman, that's a great movie. An awesome movie. And so is Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, Village Town. I like that movie quite a bit, actually. Might be my favorite movie of last year. Who knows? Anyways, that's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Sleep tight. Take care.
Would you say that you relate to the characters in Resident Evil?
I do. I relate to
some, but not.
Yeah, some, but not all. Most of those characters.
Yeah, some, but not most. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, most, but some of them.
Great. Also a bad movie. Goodbye.
How dare you?